Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. So hear me out, Bob. It's a show called The Good Gamer, but this gamer, he's a little different, but very special.
I hate you.
Kris Wolfhard.
Corporate thing.
And Dr. Aggro.
Maybe it is Shaolin Monks too this time.
Here on GigaBoots.
It's not though, is it?
It might be. That'd be a cool thing to take a break from.
Yeah, no, that actually would be really neat. That would be really neat. Why that guy's Johnny Gat, right? The other guy in that scene.
Oh my god.
Why is he? I want him in other things I want to watch. Why is he trapped in that thing that is the worst thing on earth?
He's in tons of stuff. Daniel Day Kim is in so much shit.
Okay. Is there an episode in the new Quantum Leap that has him? Because that would rule.
Let me check.
That would be so good.
It doesn't look like there is, but you can watch Hawaii 5-0 because he's one of the main characters in that.
Only if I get to do it for a podcast with Retro Island Gaming and just be like, is this legit? Is this what you Hawaiians are always up to?
Or is the original more accurate?
The Hawaii 5-0 versus Hawaii 5-0 podcast?
Yes.
And you can watch the upcoming Avatar: The Last Airbender live-action Netflix series where he's Fire Lord Ozai.
Oh. Bob, the Hawaii 5-0 versus Hawaii 5-0 podcast, the only podcast get 10 views.
Right? Pretty immaculate.
They got 5 views each, and they put them together to make it 10. This is the last thing I'm going to do referencing that absolutely repugnant show. You said you saw something where allegedly that guy was going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I have no idea if there's anything to back it up, but apparently that guy was up for being Marvel's Spider-Man.
That's peak insanity.
Sorry, the Cinematic Universe Spider-Man.
I don't know. He looks the part. I think it probably would have been fine.
I feel like based on that and him and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, no.
Oh, he was in...
Yeah, he's one of the kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is he Charlie?
I don't know.
Yeah, he is. He's Charlie Bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But anyway, point is, I think we went out with the Spider-Man we got. Because now I'm just imagining this guy playing Nathan Drake.
No.
And to me, that's a worse timeline. Anyway, I sure hate procedural American television that is really shit to people on the fringe. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
We're moving on from
Sure.
that. We played Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we figured it out, Aggro. I'm not sure if you knew this. Did you know the mummies in Majora's Mask are called Gibdos?
Uh-huh.
You know why, though?
Because you give those beans to him?
Yes, exactly. You do know.
Well, yeah. I grew up with that fucking game.
What?
I know.
These mummies want beans.
Do they actually want beans?
Yes,
Yes, they do. So I hear that that playthrough went well then.
This isn't even a side thing, Kris. To beat the game, you must get the beans for those mummies. It's so good.
It's the most blatantly filler part of the game, but it's hilarious, so it kind of gets forgiven.
I finally wake up Sunday. You know, we finish our death stream deep into Saturday, like somewhere around 2 p.m. or something.
Something like that.
Something like that. And I sleep a glorious 16 hours.
Good Lord.
And I wake up on Sunday and I watch an Ethan Chabowski video and bust into tears laughing because he poured a can of beans.
That's all
You're
it takes.
damaged. That's over. It's over.
I mean, like, this is why the British kept stealing mummies from all over the world, because they identified with another group of people who were also full of beans.
And then later in the day, I'm watching another cooking video, and another guy pours out beans, and yet again, I start cracking up. That's when I know it's over. I'm done.
Well, they don't just want beans, Dan. It's not.
Some of them want bugs.
Some of them want fish.
Some of them want hot water, like from a hot spring. And then we started getting into how healthy is it to drink hot spring water? And chat's like, Dan, you can drink sulfur. It's good for you, actually. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I'm 22 hours into a stream. So even if I did know, I wouldn't trust me. Yeah, that's right. It was Steve MRE Info. He was like, he was pouring beans out of the pouch. He was pouring beans out of the pouch. And that made me lose it because I was just like me appeasing the Gibdos. There was more than one that wanted beans.
No, there was just one who wanted 5 beans.
That was a lot of beans.
It was.
That was so many beans.
He needed to be full.
Good week for people being full of beans, I guess. I guess. Majora's Mask is really cool. I wanted to take this moment and just talk about our experience doing the Zelda 3D month. Because a lot of people, we'll bring up the minutiae of things like what's good about these games, what's weirdly falling short about some of them. And they sort of get it in their head like, oh, they think Wind Waker's a 5. And I'm like, no, God, no. I don't think we played a single game in 3D Zelda month that's like below an 8. Like 8 is low for Zelda because it's a god tier franchise.
Right.
Even Twilight Princess?
Yeah, I would give Twilight Princess an 8. I don't know about Bob.
I would definitely go below an 8.
I would actually line up to play Twilight Princess again if the opening wasn't so ungodly slow.
Yeah, if there weren't 9 hours of just dirt to take through.
It's like that scene. It's like that scene in that movie that Aggro tricked us into watching, where the enemy comes down and just goes blah, 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 in the kid's face, and then he just shoves mud in.
Oh yeah,
but we're the one getting mud shoved in our mouth. Because Twilight Princess wants us to like eat dirt for about 8 hours, I think, to a solid 8.
Yeah,
I really did enjoy many aspects of Twilight Princess. That final fight, oh god, no. But people insist the Wii version's fine, which might be true. I do remember playing the Wii version and it being bad, but not quite as heartbreakingly awful.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But I don't know. We would have to find Bob's Wii, boot it up, play the last battle again. See how that goes. Also, it's really tragic that Wind Waker HD doesn't have the maps for a Zelda dungeon on the screen.
Yeah,
which is
like, so bad. I don't know what they were thinking.
Like, Ocarina of Time had it right, you guys. You have to do that from now on. I'm sorry. You can't just not do that and throw it on the gamepad. That's not good enough. But I had a really great time. Turns out 3D Zelda's really good.
Yeah.
So it turns out numerous entries in that franchise have gotten deserved 10 out of 10s.
Yeah, Majora's Mask is really great going back to it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I figured it was still really good, but another game where kind of gaslit by people who were like, no, that was the bad one.
Yeah.
Who the fuck said Majora's Mask was the bad one? I'll fight them right now.
Right?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I was informed by people that playing that game might be a nightmare because of the time system and other things. Meanwhile, the time system only affected us once because, one, I went YOLO gem on a temple.
Yeah,
and I knew it was a bad idea heading in.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted chat to be able to do a prediction. And then, once I knew it was a bad idea and headed in, I doubled down on fucking up hard.
Yeah.
Because the design of the temple and some of the things people were saying in chat made me think time of day would affect light flow. And it does not in that game. Because it was a sunroof moment. And because of, at very least, the way we were playing it, maybe it's more visible with an HDMI out or something. Maybe it's more visible if you have really bad black levels on your TV, like a CRT would have. But it literally looked like nothing was up there instead of being like, no, it's sealed off, dude.
Right.
So I skipped time.
Yeah, you jumped like 12 hours ahead.
Yeah, I lost 12 hours. And if we had those 12 hours legit, would have beaten that temple before the timer ran out.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty close. I think I was a total of 5, maybe 6 room movements away from beating it. And 12 hours, when you have it slowed down, is a ton of time in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what, 36 minutes, 24 minutes, because people were talking about, if I remember correctly, each hour is a minute normally. But in the original Majora's Mask, the slow down time song actually makes it a third speed.
Right.
In the 3DS version, it's only half speed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait a minute, how many days did I think I lost a whole day by you doing that? Like that might actually make that tough. I do want to play the 3DS version now, though.
I am curious. There are apparently tons of changes.
And chat kept informing us many of them are very, very bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what people say, and that's what like speedrunners say, and some definitely seem like, what? Why?
Yeah, it sounded like they screwed up the movement options for every transformation, which seems crazy.
Yeah, they said skipping across the water, you know how you can do the spin and as the Deku, and that will make you speed up a bit before you start skipping across the water. Doesn't do that anymore. Spin doesn't speed you up for that first
fuck
jump.
that.
Yeah, no,
Right?
that's terrible. Even
Next,
without,
you're going to tell me you can't commit bank fraud in the 3DS version.
could you imagine?
Oh my god.
That would be so funny. He just shoots you to death. Nice try, kid.
Just straight up Link's Awakening lightning blast.
I'm waiting for Zelda to do that. I hope Tears of the Kingdom does that. I hope they bring back the Link's Awakening.
I could see him
merchant.
doing it.
Yeah, with the lightning eyes.
Whereas this guy would literally have to just like, okay, put your head on my lap. And then just does the beating their thighs until
because he
your head's
always
just mush.
slaps his thighs like he's dying of like frostbite. Dude's like trying to get feeling back in
It
his
sounds
thighs.
like he's
by
hitting
slapping-
planks of wood, too.
It does, which really feeds into my theory that somehow that man has frostbite in his legs. I don't know how. But yeah,
See,
you're
they
gonna come into the
they need to
merchant in
have-
Tears of the Kingdom, and his name's gonna be Lewis Trevor Grant. And when you try to steal from him, his eyes are gonna glow with lightning, and you're gonna realize his initials, and then he's gonna kill you.
See, it needs to be like Jade Empire when you lose the debate against the British guy. Because there's a side quest in Jade Empire where you meet a guy who is from fantasy Britain, and he's voiced by one of the
Monty Python, yeah.
guys.
Of course he is.
The one you're
And
thinking
he-
of, most likely.
And he has the big mustache and the pith helmet and a fucking blunderbuss.
John Cleese, yeah.
So if you lose the debate against him, because the side quest is 2 parts, you have to debate him and then fight him. And if you lose the debate, it just like shows him shouldering the blunderbuss, and you're not in view. And then he shoots it and just gets splattered in your blood because it eviscerates you.
That's so good. God.
And then when you beat the side quest, one of the things you can take is the gun,
Ooh.
which is useless normally
Oh.
because it takes so fucking long to reload, because it is a put the powder in with the stick.
Mhm.
It's
But
realistic.
but there's actually a stance canceling you can do with it.
Oh my God.
So it is very funny against normal enemies. It says in the description, though, like, fate intercedes to make it not work against bosses.
Oh. Okay. Sure.
But you can totally rinse basic enemies with it if you do the stance canceling, because you can completely cancel the reload animation.
Yeah, you were abusing the hell out of that on your stream, weren't you?
Yes, I think I did that as a lark. Because the two most powerful styles in that game are that and turn into a giant jade statue with double axes.
Holy shit, that sounds awesome. But yeah, Majora's Mask, yeah, I really thought the time was going to be more of a problem.
Yeah, fair.
It really wasn't.
Yeah, no, as long as you start early, have a plan, aren't going after every mask in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Oh, a couple of those are nail biters.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was it? The romance storyline takes literally
Yeah.
30 hours or
Mhm.
something ridiculous. And I was like, I would love to do this, but we don't have time in this stream.
Yeah.
Not really. That was my first time. Well, I didn't fight the final boss. I let Bob. But I was gonna say I'd never really gone to Majora without the fierce deity mask.
Right.
Because my friends all 100% of the game.
Right. I don't know if I've even fought him without it before, because, you know,
Right. Yeah, that's
it's the thing you do in those.
yeah. It was cool when they did a Zelda where there was the Ultima Keyblade. They should do that again. radical proposition, I know.
Yeah, it's we were talking about during the stream. It's really funny that we've seen so many Zeldas come since, but I don't know if there's ever been anything as cool as the Fierce Deity mask.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, right? That it's just so crazy.
There's so many cool things in Skyward Sword with the number one thing my brain always goes to is the fucking desert, where it's an ocean of sand, but you have the time crystal that changes it back into water. And that's so cool visually and in a high adventure sense and all these other things. But, there's a difference between this is an amazing idea for the world and a mechanic and all these other things versus this is the coolest dude ever. Throw shades on him. He's the deity of drip.
Yeah, I think the only thing that even comes close to like a combat related cool guy thing is the very end of Skyward.
Yes.
Because that's pretty intense.
It's so cool. Yeah, the end of Skyward's fucking amazing. Good Lord. It's the inverse Twilight. Where Twilight's ending was like not that cool and had a bunch of bad mechanics. The end of Skyward's like, I'm going to lead into the mechanics of the game. Hopefully they work on the version you're playing. And I'm like, but no, that was really cool. I really, really enjoyed. Yeah.
I was always disappointed that Breath of the Wild, like you're like, hey, we're gonna give you a bunch of different weapons, and nothing from Majora's came back. No Razor Sword, no Gilded Sword, no Great Fairy's Sword, no Helix Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were all cool designs. The Razor Sword's still the coolest in the game, and it's temporary.
Yeah,
which sucks.
That's yeah, and it was so heartbreaking because I didn't know what happened there. Like somebody explained it to me once, like 22 years ago on their copy of the game, 23, basically, where it's like, yeah, that one breaks. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But like, oh, it breaks. That's sad. No one ever explained to me, yeah, you're supposed to refine it with gold and then it becomes a completely different design. I'm like, oh, I like the Razor design a lot. Like this one's cool too, but I like the Razor design a lot.
Right.
Hopefully Tears of the Kingdom does bring back more Majora energy. I think based on the trailers they showed, like cinematically, story-wise.
Yeah, there's definitely darker tone. This Majora is just as dark as you remember it. Like, it's kind of crazy how everything... Like, they even turned the Song of Storms into, like, a really dark story about a brother, like, betraying a brother.
That Majora was 2000?
Yeah. It was the year before the GameCube.
I'm just thinking of, like, because Final Fantasy X is very similar in the way of like everybody's just really weird about death.
They're just really weird about it. So awkward.
And I'm wondering if like if there was some cultural moment in Japan, like in 1999 or 1998, where it's like, yeah, here's a story about everybody being really weird with death.
There's the Lost Generation thing, but you think that would have influenced things earlier in that decade.
Just because both games have a lot of like, we're all about to die, and that's normal.
And that's just fucking life, kid. Oh. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't rank these. They're so different. I've heard from some people, and I'm throwing this idea out for chat and listeners to weigh, and my co-hosts, that maybe Majora's benefited from us beelining directly through the game, and Wind Waker suffered from us directly beelining through the game. Now, I'm not going to say who espoused this idea, but I'm curious what you think of that notion, Bob.
I don't know. I'd really like to just have the time to go do all the other stuff. Majora's finding those maxes is cool, and they do little neat things. And I love... Like, part of what Majora's we didn't get to explore was all the just everyone in town has a schedule.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
It is
like
really
interacting
cool.
with them on their beats is really neat. So I don't feel like doing that would have been bad.
Also, everyone always keeps saying that Majora has like 4 temples, but it's really like 5 because there was that extra one. Because the Stone Temple is very discreetly a separate thing from that thing. Yeah, right after the mummies.
The end of the final temple is like 3 temples in a row. Weirdly.
Yeah, one of them is about beans.
Yeah, one of them the Bean Temple.
The Bean Temple.
So I thought that was neat. As someone came in expecting 4, because I played Wind Waker, so I know they're capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally just expecting exactly 4 temples.
It also has this thing kind of like they did in Skyward, where they turned the world into something more temple-like.
Yeah.
A few times. Like that whole infiltrating the Deku base thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Heck, even the areas leading up to the Deku temple itself were very much more challenge-oriented platforming things than you normally expect.
Yeah, in fact, the Snow Peak stuff reminded me a lot of the Snow Peak stuff in
Twilight.
Yeah, in Twilight, where they had the really cool area up there, and you needed to explore and figure out where to go. And I was like, oh, this is neat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool thing for them both to have in common. Because keep in mind, like, Ocarina does not have like a giant snowy peak.
No.
Neither does Link to the Past, really. So it's really neat that we get that, because you know, the Zeldas I've had deeply ingrained in my skull, in my brain, did not have one of those areas, and frankly, most don't. Like Twilight doesn't, or Twilight does, but Skyward doesn't? Question mark, because it has volcanoes.
Yeah, volcano,
the forest, which becomes an ocean.
A desert, which you go back in time and becomes ocean.
Yes.
Yes.
So like, we don't really get that there. Yeah. So it's really cool that like both Majora and Twilight have this cool like snow thing going on. I really like it. I really like Zelda, you guys.
Man, did you know N64 Zelda games are actually really great?
Whoa.
Crazy.
That's insane. You sound crazy. If I were to make a 100-game list of the top 100 games, Bob.
Yeah.
I would fuck up and not put a single Tony Hawk because I'm an idiot.
How would you do that?
Yeah. I've been making the list for that exact thing to whittle down. It's like, I have to just try and remember every game I've ever beaten in my entire life.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that sort of thing's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, people keep asking me to do a top 100 of games because friend of the channel, Sarah Lene, has also done 100 games, 100 top games. Voxander has done 100 top games, and so has Dot Level. And I keep sitting here and I'm like, guys, we need to wait for the new Tekken and Street Fighter to come out because there's a really good chance those two are showing up on this top 100. And it's just stupid to do it right before that. I don't know if the full top 100 list from, what was it, British GQ has Tony Hawk on it. It might somewhere in the bottom 90, but it didn't in the top 10, so they're wrong.
I saw someone be like, there was not a single Devil May Cry on that, and I was just like,
that list is interesting because it's like, this is the bubble Western guy list.
It is, yeah.
Like that's who they got. It's like an amazing insight into their mind. There is almost no understanding that can occur between me and someone who would put Mass Effect 2 in the top 10 games of all time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have cohabited, and had many fun conversations with people who would make that exact list. And I really don't agree with it. I'm trying to find some common ground between me and that list, especially the top 10. And I think there was one game we agreed on, and I can't even remember what.
Yeah, I remember people calling out that there was not a single Japanese developer contacted for this.
Well, they actually followed up on that. The people who wrote it, they were like, we tried, and they said we would have to wait a year to get clearance because the corporate policies of these Japanese developers were so strict. Because it was Nintendo, like they name dropped Nintendo, and they said other Japanese companies, same deal. They were gonna make them wait a whole year, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah, that makes sense. You didn't wait a whole year. Unfortunately, now your list is basically useless.
Hey, check this out. Just do it again.
I mean, that's what they should do. Hopefully, they went like, yes, we'll wait a year and do a second version of this list. Did they explain their methodology? Because I didn't look at it real closely beyond the list itself.
Just they had a number of people who were game journalists and a number of people who were developers, and it ended up very Western Anglosphere core. Because. But
was it just like give us the top 10 games of all time and we like weight them, or is it give us 100?
I think they did top 10s. They just asked people.
It's a bad system.
Yeah.
It's a bad methodology.
Right.
Like,
But yeah, I would
100,
like
yeah.
them to get input from Japanese developers and release a revised version of it where they combine those with what they already have.
Okay,
I
if,
feel
if
like
what
they-
Matt O.B. is saying in chat is true, I'm going to lose my mind. Number 1 on the list gets 10 points. Number 10 on the list gets 1 point. Fuck you, even I know better than to do that with Game of the fucking Year!
Oop.
Are you fucking serious? 1 point. Everyone could have put a game as their number 10, but if two people gave some other game a slightly higher score, it could have bumped it off.
Yeah.
Just because that numbering makes no sense.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh my God.
That's really stupid.
That is so ignorant. Like, you guys need to understand, when I did the weighted numbering system for Game of the Year, the way I did it is, like, I believe it goes down, like, obviously the top one gets 10 points, and then you get 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, I think. Something like that. Something where, obviously, your number 10 should matter a little bit more than 1 point.
Yeah.
A little bit, especially in the context of something like this. I don't even know if that's a journalism problem. I think that's a math problem. I don't get it. Maybe they just don't understand numbers. I don't know. Anyways. I think it's insane to live in a world where they're like, yeah, no Tony Hawk game makes the top 10. And I'm like, that is one of the best selling games of all time. You couldn't, like...
It's not The Last of Us.
Right. That actually is the number one thing I think that is insane, because they gave that, what, number 2?
I don't even
They gave it a
remember.
really high slot. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, The Last of Us is good. I'm actually, I feel like you, me, Aggro, we're pretty positive on The Last of Us 1.
Right.
Like, played it at the time, thought it was really cool, thought it was really impressive.
Yeah, I don't know if it would make it into my top 100, though. I know Tony Hawk would.
Right. Yeah. For me, multiple Tony Hawks make it in my top 100.
Yeah, I got to like 250 games on that list that I'm going to cut down, and I'm going to do it hardcore. I'm going to one of those. We match, pick one of these two, and they do that 1,000 times.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because I can't fucking look at a list of games and try and be that granular. That's impossible.
Yeah, it's not terribly easy. I think my problem for my top 100 is just going to be, well, how much of a clown show is this? How many Mega Man games and Tony Hawks? What percentage? Let's say it like that. What percentage is the top 20? It's just Mega Man and Tony Hawk, right?
Let me think. I'm going to try and guess. And when you actually do it, we can see how close I was. I think out of the top 20, %40 will be those two franchises.
I think that's a pretty reasonable estimation,
Yeah, I think Chris is on the money there.
because the real easy A-listers for me are like Mega Man 8, Mega Man 6, Mega Man 5, Mega Man 3, probably. Mega Man X2, X4.
Right.
There are 3 Tony Hawks, 2, 3, and Underground that I would give that award to. 4 is a little too sadistic, but I feel like it should get somewhere, but I don't know if it's top 20
But what
somewhere.
about the 1-2 remake?
Yeah, that's cheating, but we're going to allow it.
I mean,
because
it's
they could-
obviously the best version too.
Should I remove 2 to put 1 plus 2? That's a weird question, right? Mechanically, these are very different games.
Mm-hmm. So about it being the 60% of your top 20.
What about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2X for the Xbox original? Was that a third Tony Hawk 2 in my top 20?
It might be.
I don't know. The motion blur on that's really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure if you were a big fan of that, honestly.
It was neat. I wouldn't say it's an integral Tony Hawk experience. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to go off on a tangent about the top 100 list. At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't give a single shit about top lists or review score numbers.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I've mentioned this a couple times before. I'll mention it again because it's relevant this week, I suppose. I wanted to take the numbers out of the spoiler cast entirely years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But enough people were like, no, this is important, where I'm like, okay, well, then I'm wrong. That's fine. Like, it's not about me dictating, right?
Right.
It's a group effort. So that's why I could never be the human who's like really upset about a score. And someone would be like, what, you didn't like do this. Meanwhile, I have to look at like fucking the scores that Redfall got. And that's the only time I've remotely had that emotion recently. I'm like, guys, the AI doesn't work at all in this game. Why are you giving it a 6? There's nothing in the open world. The cutscenes look terrible and the story's basically not there. What do you mean a 6? That's the only time I've had that emotion.
Sorry, the scale doesn't go down lower than 6.
Right, that's what it feels like. In that moment, it felt like, man.
I think that list would have been more interesting if it wasn't any journalists, it was just game devs.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, I don't know why they mixed those.
Because they're journalists.
Yeah.
Yeah, journalists have this unbelievable... Journalists have this weird mental state where they're really important, but if you ever imply the things they say can affect the development of a game, they get upset.
Yeah, I've actually seen even old industry vets do the same thing, and they'll blame many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate to even fucking bring this dude up because he's so stupid, but Jez Corden over at whatever Xbox thing he run, Windows Central, I think is what it is.
Yeah, I think he's one of the people at Windows Central.
Had this tweet today where he's like, it was just a joke tweet where it's like Square Enix says they hate turn-based games, meanwhile Honkai Star Rail made a bunch of money, and I'm like, no, they probably took the feedback of every major game journalist in the past 20 years saying that genre was bad. You can't have it both ways. These companies aren't black boxes of which no input can ever affect.
No, it's impossible.
Like and also saying that now is extremely weird because I feel like it's only going to be within the next 2 years the big AAA scope turn-based game will be announced.
Yes, I think so too, and I will never be more vindicated in my entire life than that moment.
Yeah, I hope for it, but I do understand the current, like, there is an announced Dragon Quest, but it is out there and unknown for when it's coming. We have two Final Fantasies coming out this year, allegedly,
and
that are
neither of those
action-based.
yeah.
Well,
so I get it.
Like 16 was announced, started development in like the peak of like right before the trend started going back up.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 is this weird hybrid, so I don't like it's a weird hybrid turn-based action game.
Yeah, I think
So
we're going to
even
be
that
in
feels
weird
like a
hybrid
baby
town
step.
for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't, because there's stuff like those 2D HD things have money.
yeah, they do.
That's where it's living right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think someone's gonna definitely do that huge AAA turn-based game, and that's gonna be a great moment because we're gonna learn. Hey, did you know people just like a good story with really pretty graphics? Did you know they don't need to hold the stick forward to move Cloud to get engaged with the story?
It is gonna, like, I'm gonna have to just kneel and fucking start worshiping MiHoYo because that Honkai Star Rail is gonna move the needle.
Oh yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be so good. Sony's gonna fucking publish their fucking quadruple A games that they do, but it's gonna be turn-based. Give it 6 years, 7 years.
I feel bizarrely vindicated by the devs of it saying like, yeah, we really, really love Falcom's Legend of Heroes series.
Damn.
The Trails games.
Jesus. Of all the games I would assume that they would list, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Well, that's because Falcom is one of the few devs that's like, let's get a Chinese language version out there.
Oh.
Like I think they were doing that in like 2000s.
That's
Whoa,
crazy.
yeah.
That's really smart though. That's awesome. Man, Falcom's so cool. I love that they've been in the industry since like 85. There aren't too many companies like that. You got like Konami, Capcom, Nintendo, and Falcom, and I'm struggling to name more.
And ones that have died and risen again.
Yeah.
Shambling husks.
Yeah, a lot of the Western
Right.
ones are just that.
Yeah.
Where at least Namco is still Namco. Though technically they were Namcot, I think.
Don't worry about it.
Did Sunsoft come back? Are they real?
I wouldn't say what they're doing. I wouldn't call that a comeback. Right? They're here again. And that's something. That's
Don't call it a comeback. Call it a. I don't know let's like a pathetic comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Call it a disconnected from Discord voice chat sound.
Right.
Yeah, and Sega, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it feels good. It feels good because, like, crazily enough, I've been playing Falcom games since I was a kid. Like, I owned Legacy of the Wizard, which is just Dragon Slayer 4 for people who don't know. And that shit's cool. I love that shit. But it's an action RPG, so it can go to hell. But no, I do think there are a huge market of people who are underserved by us not having high-profile turn-based games. Turn-based RPGs. I think there are a lot of people who really, really loved Final Fantasy VII and could maybe be more interested in modern gaming if there were more things like that. Things that aren't hard to engage with.
Yeah,
It makes me think of that.
It's so fucking bizarre that we had the 10-year-long media cycle of a game requiring any execution at all scares away consumers like a frightened rabbit. So you can't have anything difficult in your game. While at the same time punching on turn-based games that have literally no execution.
Right.
Yep.
I think of the Western side of it, what turn-based RPGs are on that side, like the Pillars of Eternity and stuff. And like, that's also kind of scares people away because that's much more complicated than a Final Fantasy of just like you have 3 guys in a row, hit the buttons to make them attack.
Right.
Whereas a turn-based like Pillars is like you have to navigate them around a map.
Right.
And it's usually bound to be very hard.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, and I absolutely could be because I get Pillars of and Path of mixed up a lot. But Pillars of is a turn-based, more tabletop RPG almost, where you're dungeon crawling and moving through the environment. It's sort of D&D inspired.
Yes.
Yeah. Which of course no JRPG has ever been inspired by D&D, Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z, my favorite wizardry campaign.
You see that shit where it just got translated where Yuji Horii was like, yeah, here were the 3 exact games I ripped off. And one of them was one no one had ever said.
Oh, yeah?
Ever. It was like Wizardry, the other one that people know, and then this third one. And everyone went, what the fuck is this game?
Huh.
No one's ever heard of this. And he's like, yeah, I just took that and made Dragon Quest. I'm like, fuck. That's just
really funny.
Found out. It's great.
But on the note of like, yeah, I took it from Dragon Ball Z actually. I'm just thinking of like all the like the PS1 and PS2 JRPGs that have scenes where the villains all eat at a table and like their name boxes pop up. Like an anime, because there's so fucking many of those.
Yeah.
I also think that you can literally be like, okay, here's where the monkey ship happened in Stardust Crusaders, and then here is how many JRPGs have a ghost ship section, and it like shoots up exponentially after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit's pretty cool when it takes inspiration from other cool shit. Which is why it's cool when we stop recycling the same ideas into a horrible vomit whirlpool.
Yeah, I just think of all the random 80s OVAs I've been trying to watch recently and how it's so cool that they just have their own world that some random dude thought of and was like, yeah, it's a fantasy and there's giant robots. I don't know. The girl wears bikini armor. It's just a mesh of things they like.
It makes her so powerful. She's impervious. Yeah, no, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you have anything else you want to say about Majora? We got a little off topic.
A little bit, yeah. I don't think so.
That game was dope.
Yeah, that game was really great. I'd love to play through it again. Like,
yeah, it's honestly me too. I'm like, oh man, we should do the 3DS one.
Yeah, it is one of them I could totally just jump right back into.
And you know, the 3DS, I'm pretty sure that nub actually works as an analog stick.
Yeah,
to turn the camera.
Crazy.
That was actually the number one reason I wanted a 3DS at one point. I was like, oh God. Like the new 3DS where I'm just like, oh God, the stick moves the camera in a Zelda. Because that was pre-Breath of the Wild.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That would have made it the first one, wouldn't it? The Skyward doesn't have that.
Do you think like I'll get bikini armor in Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes. Gamer Premonition, aggro, do you think he's gonna?
Yes.
Kris, will Link get bikini armor in Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes.
Of course. There we go. We're all in.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's like 50% of current Breath of the Wild fan art is him in the Gerudo outfit. So,
Well, oh yeah, Wind Waker has the camera on the right stick, but it's a C stick, so I forgot.
yeah, it's a C stick because you're on the sea.
Boo. I'm gonna move on, Bob.
yeah.
3D Zelda month was great.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for the support. Wait a second. This is the current topic and text document I have open. This is the baby counter from the other end stream. I don't even know where that asset lies in all of this shit. We're moving on. Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about Pistol Whip, the best VR game I've ever played.
Oh, that good, huh?
Pistol Whip is so fucking good. It's like living through a John Wick action scene nonstop.
Is it like the fight into stages, or is it just like go? It never ends.
It's divided into songs because much like a John Wick action scene, the song matches up perfectly to the actions of people jumping at you.
Oh.
And good news for you, though you get extra points for shooting on the beat. You don't get punished for not doing things on the beat. So it's perfectly playable for you.
All right, great.
In as much as you can do crazy hyper fast squats and dodge to the side, because every bullet's coming at you almost in a sort of like super hot style, and you have to dodge your head around them.
Ooh.
And there's like 9 dudes. It's so fucking epic. It's got such good colors and lighting and everything, and everyone's made out of crazy polygons. Like some of them start to look like a fighting Polygon Man team a little bit, where they just shake and reverberate to the music, but they're dressed up like agents.
Oh, man.
So you'll hit the drop in a song as you're going over a narrow bridge over a vast expanse, and you're looking at the rock wall in front of you, and there are tiny, tiny ledges out of it. And to the beat, 9 different guys will step out, all aiming at you and shooting. It is the coolest shit. And I know a lot of you guys are like, I played Pistol Whip. This is old news. You want some new news? Adaptive triggers. The triggers on the guns feel correct. So you pull it a little bit, and then you click past the threshold, and then the gun kicks. And when you dodge the bullets, you can feel them whiz by your head because the built-in feedback.
Jesus.
It is so dope.
Oh, my God. So did they get it feeling like Call of Duty good as far as the trigger goes?
Well, I've been using nothing but pistols so far, and there are other gun types. I don't know if they'll use machine guns, though, because they know the coolest shit is to either do one gun or akimbo, or like dual wield,
Right.
which you can do. You can just boom, boom, boom. And the best part is when you really get to do it, and you're shooting with both guns on both the beat and the off beat, but perfectly in sync with it, go do, 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 do. And you get like that crazy score bonus every single time. It pops up above their head. It's like, it's got a bullseye icon if you hit them accurately, and then it has like a pulse, like a heartbeat, if you hit it on the beat, and it gives you those extra points. Also, you can pistol whip in the game. So if you dodge bullets leading up to a guy, because it's an auto scroller, you're just going through the level at a constant speed, and you pistol whip him, you get your armor back, and he just shatters.
Ooh.
It's really good. This game whips. It is so damn good, dude.
Yeah, I can see why you said you... What was the other game? Where you were like, I don't think I'll be able to play that again anymore.
Well, I mean, that's a lot. I'm like, why would I play Runner when I have Pistol Whip? It's really cruel to say.
Oh, no.
By the way, Pistol Whip's on sale right now on PlayStation VR too. So if you have it, it's a little bit off. It's like $22 instead of whatever the full price is.
Okay.
I got it because I was saving it for when my back was a little less fucked. Because after we did a lot of PSVR, my back got fucked up. It was like some sort of, like I fell down the stairs years ago and it just flared it up in a weird way. So I waited to get Pistol Whip. That was amazing. And also, if you're into VR for exercise, that shit burned 400 calories across an hour.
Jeez.
So, yeah, I was pouring sweat. It was not pretty when I came out of that headset, but that was the coolest fucking time I've had in VR. There's something unspeakably awesome about having this beautiful, like, literally John Wick lighting. You know, that crazy harsh purple and the casting and the shadows, all of this mastered so correctly. Part of me is like, did Did they play this game before? Like, what's the timeline on John Wick movies coming out and this game coming out?
It has to be just
The first
John Wick first one, and then
the
this.
first trophy I got was called Parabellum, which is the subtitle of John Wick 3.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just
obviously.
like, Jesus fucking Christ. It is so good, though. It is amazing. It literally went, well, now there's a second fucking VR game on my Game of the Year list, unless everything goes crazy by the end of the year. Because it's currently my favorite. It is truly fun as hell. It's unbelievable. And I'm only playing on medium difficulties. There are higher difficulties, and that's inconceivable to me. Because it's so much to keep up with. You die in 2 shots.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's if you have the opportunity, you should try Pistol Whip. For sure. It is like living a John Wick action scene with the crazy good music and the strobing.
Mm-hmm.
The pulsating, the being jumped by people with body armor and those without, people who go down in 1 hit, 2 hit, or like 4. It's really a great experience. And I'm excited to play it again. I had to take the gasket off immediately after that session, though, and rinse it because Jesus. Sopping is the best way to phrase it. Anyway, that's it. I'm done talking about. Also, the music's right fucking dope.
Yeah, is it licensed or just original?
I don't know, like, it's probably licensed, but it's not super mainstream stuff, a lot of it. And
Okay.
a lot of it really does, like, the lyrics and stuff lean into, yeah, you're in a gunfight. This is a crazy tense moment. Like, every song just bangs in a crazy... Yeah, exactly. Play Pistol Whip. It made me sopping. That is technically accurate. I burned 400 calories. Anyways. Yeah, the songs are perfect for, like, these sequences and how they play out. Like, you have... I wish I could remember the names of the songs or the lyrics, but it's just cool going through these fucking graveyards where a shootout happens because agents step out from behind the tombstones and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. What a game. Also has a code. I haven't tried it yet, but it's like, hey, we have an actual story mode.
Oh.
Or I'm like, oh, cool, I should try that. I haven't tried it though because I was already like having such a great time that I'm like, I'll save that for when, the high starts to lessen a little. I'll save that for when, maybe I'm a little less enamored with it because it's not my first impression.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like I saved Pistol Whip for a little bit later into the PSVR 2 because I didn't want to eat every delicious bit of candy up front and then go, where are the games? But yeah. Anyway. Hey, Bob, what did you play?
Let's see. I played quite a few things, actually.
Okay.
They put Grid Legends onto PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
So I tried that out.
So, Bob, what is Grid Legends?
Grid Legends is a driving simulator mixed with a story that's told in live action cutscenes.
What?
Just like that Need for Speed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them showing trailers for this, and we were laughing really hard. I'm like,
Right.
I really want this game.
Yeah, I really wanted to try it because of that. Unfortunately, the live action cutscenes are all trying to be a reality TV sort of thing, and it kind of ruins it.
So they're not going for the fast and furious tone.
No.
They're going for shitty, snarky reality TV.
It's the whole idea is you're working for this guy who runs a racing team, and he's like down on his luck, like his racing team's not working out that well.
Okay,
so he's trying
it's Ridge Racer Type 4.
kind of.
I hope this continues to be as good as Ridge Racer Type 4.
So you are the rookie who's brought in to try and amp up the team, but it's all told like you as a player do not have a character model, like don't have a person, like a real actor representing you.
Well, yeah, it's like
And
a Sega CD game.
And they also don't talk directly to you like that. Like it seems like you're always referred to in the third person.
Are you a ghost and you're haunting the studio while people are talking to each other? Is that
like it's like you're watching reality TV made about your own workplace.
what the fuck?
It's bizarre.
Like someone at some point pussied out and just said, you can't have the actors talk to the camera.
Right. So they're instead talking to a camera about the new rookie and about stuff like what's going on with the company.
Okay.
And it's
All right.
weird, and the tone doesn't quite land in the place I want it to. Also, oh my god, the cutting between live action footage and gameplay has never been worse. It's just the most abrupt. Just obviously that guy is looking at a screen playing game footage sort of thing, not looking at a real thing.
That's hilarious though. That sounds funny as shit.
It is kind of funny.
But hey, it was free.
It was.
Which, using the Game Pass principle, means it's great.
It also, because it's going for like a story thing, I guess this is why they would do this. They have generic like blockbuster movie music going when you're racing. It just comes off as really lame. And playing Gran Turismo before this has ruined all other driving simulator games.
Yeah. So we need people to bring back the arcadey racers, because
this is just kind of sad.
I've said before, like, I'm really excited to check out this year's Forza, but that doesn't mean it has an easy job, because Gran Turismo 7. So like, I feel like a lot of these things are falling into that.
Yeah, like the suspension just feels completely unrealistic. Absolutely, there's no. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like you're hitting bumps at all. I feel like a tire can go off the road and I don't even notice.
Do you know if this was cross-gen? Was this PS4 and PS5?
I believe it was cross-gen, but this is a PS5 version because it has adaptive triggers.
Yeah.
They feel terrible. They're just a joke. It's I honestly was like double check that they were on levels of. This is just a weird little bit of a pulse it's doing as I do these like drifts and stuff. It also makes this really weird decision of putting a notification right in the center of the screen for like,
oh my god,
yeah, that constantly happening while you're racing, because it's things like you passed the guy, you use a slipstream, you took that turn well. It's just like dead center of the screen.
I remember some other racing game did that. It's like, are you insane? What are you talking about? Why would you throw that in the middle of the screen on a racing game? It's bad enough in a normal game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did it.
Do you know if it was 30 or 60 frames per second?
I believe it was 60.
Okay.
Like it felt smooth and looked smooth, but visually very basic.
Okay.
But that's after experiencing Gran Turismo. So just seeing this race course, it just looks like bad. I'm like, no, I don't have a good bar anymore. I've seen Gran Turismo, and I've seen Gran Turismo throughout these different gens. It doesn't look as good as PS3 Gran Turismo, because PS3 Gran Turismo is still incredible looking.
Damn. Okay. I've played racing games on phone like Asphalt 7. Maybe I could be okay with the environmental detail. I don't know. It depends on how fun the game is.
Yeah.
Do you think ray tracing would have solved?
No. What's up, Aggro?
I'm confused. This is a video game, right?
Yes.
And it has live action video in it?
Yes.
And yet you haven't mentioned solving a murder yet.
I know, right? The game does open. God, what do they call that? Like in media res?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it shows like this horrible crash. And then it's like 6 months ago. So we're catching up to that crash. So maybe someone died.
So eventually you will get to the murder. All right.
That's good. I'm glad someone's dying in this race.
You had me worried for a while there.
I kind of want to play more to see more of the rival character they introduced, only in the flash forward part so far, because he's unhinged. He's like obviously causes that crash and wreck, and that they're interviewing afterwards, and he's like, they just can't keep their cars on the road. And I'm like, this is really goofy, but I kind of want to see where they're going with it. I wish it wasn't this awful just generic reality TV presentation to it.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be better if they went in the direction of like the Mighty Ducks. Where like the rival racer is just a dirtbag who gets people killed.
As far as other stuff I played, I tried out Kitsune: The Journey of Adoshino.
I'm gonna write what you said.
Or Adashino. It's ADASHINO.
Okay.
This was a demo on Steam. Someone actually sent this to me on Twitter because it looked interesting. It's a neat little game where the character models are all 3D and have a very cartoony look, but all the backgrounds are hand drawn. And you're playing as this fox girl exploring a ancient Japanese town that's haunted. So it seems like this demo was very short. It seems like this is going to be a survival horror that plays kind of similarly to a Resident Evil or something, but I don't even know if I can attack. I got this thing with like fireworks that you can set off that distracts the monster. But this thing only lasted like probably 10 minutes, so I cannot say exactly what the game is going to be like overall, but so far the style's really cool and the world seems neat. It's like this island you're stranded on with your what is he? Like a frog is your companion. You talk to him all the time. The only weird thing is that they have, since all the backgrounds are hand drawn, they have these 3D characters moving around them. It feels like some of the cutoff points for that create really awkward things in the line art. Like they'll not have the cutout for when you go past a foreground element quite right. So you'll see like bizarre edges to a pillar that don't feel like they should have been there. And it feels like they probably need to refine that a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But this game's really neat looking and you can download the demo on Steam. Just something to check out.
Okay.
I also tried out the Xenoblade 3 regular DLC because I finished Future Redeemed last week. I figured I'd go look at what these were.
Any beans?
No beans. 2 extra characters, both with really neat mechanics. The first is like this robot girl who's like, I guess, God, what are the weird little round things? The gnome pawns. I guess they built this robot girl to protect them. But she has her own unique level up system where you actually need to go around the environment and find special Easter drops to level up her skill tree. So she has like her own skill tree to herself.
And she just eats ether, and you guys are like, yeah, she's doing it. This is great.
They even have a cutscene where you're like, well, you need the special ether bottle because this is like super ether. And then all the entire like crew just freaks out as she starts drinking it like a Gatorade.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Those are some fun cutscenes they've made for that. And then the other character like literally unlocks accessory crafting. It's like, this would have been cool in the main game. It's just weird now. I guess I could use it to like make the perfect stats to do the challenge modes they've added for this DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the idea, but it does just feel like this is a really great system. Why wasn't it in the game? What?
You're like, so they added another system to Xenoblade 3. In my head, the TikTok video is making itself of me applying for federal aid to go to college to learn this new system in Xenoblade 3 because there's at least an hour of tutorials.
And there's another whole set of tutorials about the materials that you need to make the special gem, or like not gems, rings and other accessories, because gems are the whole own thing in Xenoblade.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems really cool.
Man, it's gonna be fucking awesome when they make another game.
Yes.
I'm very curious what their next game is.
Yeah.
Which will be a Switch 2 game, which makes me very, very curious.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh boy, you guys did great given the Switch like being cement boots.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine this on any capable performance hardware.
Like I would kill to see what they could do with something as powerful as a fucking Series S. That would be unfucking real in comparison.
Yeah.
But as I understand it, what are we talking? Something like slightly stronger than PS4 or something? Apparently. For the Switch 2.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
That's what the rumor mill's saying, but that would be great. That would fucking whip.
Yes.
I'd be like, yeah, look at this.
They also put out a new mode for Overwatch 2 like yesterday. So I tried that out. What's up, Dad?
Nothing. Go ahead.
It's called Star Watch. It's literally just a regular Overwatch level. It's literally one of them that's already in the game. They might have taken it out of the game earlier. It's one set in the moon base.
Yeah, they took that away.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that reskinned mildly with different lighting. And some new skins for some characters that make them vaguely Star Wars-esque. Yeah, you just do a regular Overwatch map stuff there, like the things of like take a point and then take another point, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they took those.
Fantastic.
They took out every map that was one of those because it wasn't exciting enough, and I complained because I like that map specifically. So to hear that they have to do some weird dumb mode with a reskin of that map in order to bring it back makes me really frustrated.
Yeah, and of course it can't just be completely normal. You are limited to certain characters on each side.
Oh, fuck this!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because they only made so many skins.
Right, of course. Of course.
And they added
Football.
they added reviving, which just feels weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Like anyone can.
Everyone can revive. Yeah, everyone goes on a slight cooldown for how long it takes them to revive, and they walk around as a ghost until you try and revive them. Or if everyone dies, you can just do a regular respawn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, it's weird. Also, they added a thing where it has low gravity. I'm not sure if that was in the map originally. Like sometimes they'll just be like, "Oh, there's a gravity anomaly," and then everyone just jumps high.
I'm having trouble remembering. I feel like there wasn't low gravity before, but parts of the map, like if you went outside for no reason, had low gravity. I'm not having trouble remembering, but no, I don't believe. Yeah, okay. Someone in chat saying exactly what I just said is true.
Okay. And they also added weird little things to the map, like there's these reactor-looking things sitting around, and you shoot them, and it turns into one of those attacks like that suck everyone in.
Oh, okay.
So they get held there like a black hole sort of thing from Zarya.
Yeah, gravity well.
Yeah, gravity well.
Mm-hmm. Gravity squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was less interesting than expected.
Okay.
Because, man, it sure is this old map I played.
Yeah. Yeah, this news you're giving me is actually just making me angry at the game and wanting to never go back.
Fair.
Frankly.
Yeah, I can't
If
believe
we're
they
gonna
would
be brutally honest here.
I can't believe they did this. And it's locked to this mode that's only available for a short time and has weird stipulations. Like,
Yeah,
you
that
just put that
sucks.
map in rotation.
That sucks. That sucks bad. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, what's
I
up?
assume you have many more games to talk about.
A few, yeah.
Do you mind if I have an intermission
for
of
it.
one game I played that is
Yeah.
very relevant to our viewers? Because this will be the first time we're announcing. So, hey, guys. I think I have this name correct. The subtitle escapes me at all times, but I'm going to try it. I played Dokapon Kingdom. That game is made by Satan. That game
Sure is.
I could not just... I had no frame of reference for how literally made by Satan that game is.
Crazy.
It is just fucking evil. Imagine a Mario Party where you just went, I rolled, and you land on a random encounter square, and you encountered an enemy that's 2 levels above you, and they just kill you in 1 hit. That game is fucking unhinged. That game is insane. I played partial matches, 2 of them. A little bit of me versus an AI at first, and me going, what the fuck? I'm going up against Neo. This AI knows every perfect roll. Like, oh, weird. I roll the exact number I need every time. And I'm just like, that's cool. I've been stuck in the opening area for ever. Because I can't roll the exact number you want me to. It is unhinged. It's never been this bad. There's no board game as evil as this. There is no other video game as hateful of its players. Dark Souls looks sympathetic in comparison. This game
Don't
is
worry, Dan.
evil.
If you get far enough behind, you can sell your soul to Satan to just ruin the game.
Not even when just ruined
I'm
the
intrigued.
game. Oh my god.
That sounds pretty great.
At one point, a person showed up and gave me a thing, and I'm like, oh, what was that? That's crazy. Is that an item I get to use to spite my opponents? It's named blackmail. That sounds great. 5 turns later, that killed me out of nowhere. I just died.
You just had to buy the Unabomber's box, didn't you?
Yeah,
You had to know.
No, I landed on a square, and they just gave it to me, and I was like, what happened? What
Dan
the
plays
fuck?
fucking Death Stranding, and he's like, "Wow, this is a pretty suspicious package. I guess I'll just take it to where it says it needs to go."
Yeah. This guy normally gets pizza, but this reactor is looking pretty cool. Oh man, it's terrible, horrible. Anyways, after we finish Big Think, the four of us will be playing Dokapon Kingdom for all of you.
Right, for your enjoyment.
This fucking
For the
evil,
glory of Satan.
this evil fucking video game. It's so fucking bastardly. I think if there was a word to put on the box, like the ESRB has to tell you what content inside, it would just be bastard tier bullshit. That would
Put
be
that shit on the box.
It's truly awful. What a heinous fucking video game. One time Tosh walked past me. She was playing a thief, and I just heard a sound, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And she stops moving, and it's like, you took his shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
No.
No way. Fuck you. Come on. This game's evil. Also, it's so low budget. I ran into my first typo. I am not exaggerating, within 1 minute of booting the game. And I'm just like, how do you do this? How do you do this? The graphics look like 3DS graphics. There's a hitch when it wants to load things. But, you know, I guess that's the price you pay to be literally Hellspawn.
Right?
You have to look like a 3DS game to tap into that evil, too. Anyway.
Look, Idea Factory has like a top end of what they can do, and we hear it.
we hit it a few times. You can hear it. Just boom, 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 boom. Man, absolutely insane game. You'll see later.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain to you. Audience, please check out that stream if you're listening to this podcast, because man, that game, I'm not trying to oversell how evil it is. I was in awe for hours over how evil it was. It's like, oh, you can't escape the opening area because you can't roll exactly a 2 or 4. I'm like, what the fuck? This is the opening of the game! Anyway, that's what I've been playing. What else did you play, Bob?
I played the Geno Kids demo. This is a game that's currently on Kickstarter. It hit all of its stretch goals. So it's coming.
Cool. Wait. Okay, let's...
This is a Devil May Cry like, which obvious inspirations from like Kingdom Hearts and
Yes.
The World Ends With You for aesthetics.
Yes, it was the Devil May Cry Kingdom Hearts like.
Yes.
Kingdom May Cry. Devil May Hearts.
So you play as like a very cartoony looking character, allegedly part of a band. So all the characters use instruments as weapons, but it isn't like a music game or anything like Hi-Fi Rush.
No,
So
it's just
don't
like
expect
that one guy of the organization. Organization 13 with his cool guitar.
Not like that either, because strangely,
Oh.
your character is a guitar. The guitar just turns into a sword, a normal sword,
well,
which kind of upset
okay.
me. And then your other character has drums, and those also just turn to regular like energy fists.
Okay.
I'm like, guys, you had a thing going
There's
here.
a whole opportunity.
This could have been way cooler.
Everyone knows that at the end of the day, the drummer should be a blue mage, right? I think that's obvious.
I understand the idea of like he hits drums, so he hits people, like he hits things like that.
I don't. But
I kind of get the angle they're coming at. But then in the full game, there will be 4 characters. I don't know what the other ones will do. I only know these 2 that they have in the demo.
Venezuela.
What kind of band has room for a Venezuela if there are only 4 members?
A Zoomer band. They're like, this is great. It has a really unique sound, and everyone ever has to go, I guess you're right.
We can't argue with that.
Right? Venezuela and Kazooms. God.
The game's got like, it seems to only have 1 combo per character. And I have to wonder if that's just because it's the demo and they don't have like that fully fleshed out yet, but it feels really weird to have like such a limited range of attacks. And then instead of like, you know, in Devil May Cry, you have a stinger and everything by hitting forward in the analog stick. Instead of doing that sort of thing, they have like hold R2 button, you get 4 different attacks mapped to your face buttons.
Uh-huh.
And each doesn't take meter. So you have a stinger on there, but it takes meter.
How fast does that meter come back?
The meter comes back pretty fast, but it still
That's
feels
something, but that is weird.
Yeah, it still feels weird. And a lot of the attacks pretty much.
Well, that's kind of like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts had the whole hold the shoulder button in order to use your spells sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does have that sort of energy to it, but it's like if you had a Kingdom Hearts loadout that was all melee focused. Although they do have a summon swords in there, like a Virgil style, just summons that swords to shoot at enemies.
Cool. I would say it's less Virgil and more like Joaquin or whatever.
Oh my god!
From Lament of Innocence.
No, because his swing in a certain like arc, whereas this is like it shoots
Well, I mean,
it.
he's also got them around him. He's very cool. More people should talk about Melancholy Joaquin.
I'm looking at footage and it looks like you're doing like Marvel combos on them because you can swap in the middle of a combo.
Yeah, the idea is you're controlling all 4 characters at once. So instead of switching between weapons on your D-pad, you switch between characters.
Oh, so really it's Wonderful 101.
No, not at all.
No, I like Wonderful 101, and no, it isn't like that at all.
But yeah, it feels like none of the attacks feel like they have a really good weight and hit strong impact to them, which I feel is pretty important. And also because each character only has one combo, I feel like that's not enough depth for each of them. Although the fist guy can do charge hits, which gives him something.
I do, we've run into this ever since we played Freedom Planet ahead of its release in the beta. We've run into this. Well, obviously, this will be a thing they fix.
Right.
And you want to say that, but you never actually know.
Yeah, I really don't think it will, because I also played a demo from 2 years ago when they first put this thing together. Basically, combat-wise, exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
So not much has changed in that side of things. They did add traversal stuff. Like now this newer demo has like a full level you go through and has like a wall running mechanic where certain walls have a highlighted thing. You can dash to it and then run on it. And it feels pretty decent. Like it feels better than you might expect one of those sort of mechanics to feel. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really digging as much as I was hoping I would. It's also got a block a lot like Kingdom Hearts, where you like hold the sword out for a second.
But only for a bit.
Yeah, for a bit.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea. I
feel like with Kingdom Hearts, they sell it a little more, because if you get that block in Kingdom Hearts, it leaves the enemy open to punish really well. Like there's a good chunk, and then and you
get to set up what you punish with, which also makes it really interesting and rewarding.
Where it felt kind of like they did not get stunned by it, really. It was like, well, I blocked that, but they're going to come up with something.
Good job. You didn't take damage. That is not a good enough reward. I can jump.
Right?
Yeah, if you're parrying something, it really should be the high risk, high reward defensive option.
Sorry, someone in chat said it's like Arkham Knight, and I'm like, no, that's what the bat wants you to think. Because I'm damaged. I played no Arkham games, so when you say it's like Arkham Knight, my brain goes, they're fucking lying. Don't buy it.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Okay. I don't know. Oh, it's the bat. Anyway, hey, is the bat in this game?
The bat does not seem to be in this game. This game does have weirdly fully voiced cutscenes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. For the cutscene, it uses the 3D environments it uses in the game, but then they have like 2D drawings of the characters they put over it.
Cool.
And it actually works pretty well.
Yeah.
Like it makes it like the step between a motion comic and a real like cutscene.
Yeah.
It's neat.
I was thinking about that the other day, of how that was like popular during a certain, like, I feel like there was a certain era where we used a lot of 2D on-screen assets to reinforce the 3D stuff, so we didn't have to animate the 3D stuff and could have expressiveness through the 2D elements, animated themselves or not. And I think that's a really great, way to have them still be expressive and not lose a shitload of money.
Yeah, yeah. Strangely, there was a Kickstarter goal for voice acting. So luckily they hit that, because they hit all their goals.
Oh, that's good.
So
wow, a game enhanced by kickstarting up some voice acting. That's great. I'm never gonna forget Mighty Number 9 for that. That will continue to be the dumbest fucking thing they ever did.
But yeah, at the end of the day, this game feels a little loose, but I might still give it a shot when it comes out fully. I'm still curious what the other two characters are like. I don't know why they don't have a PlayStation version. They did a goal for a Switch version, but no other version, just PC and Switch.
Well, I can understand if it's PC and Switch. I thought you were going to tell me they have an Xbox version. I'm like, no Kingdom Hearts fan has just an Xbox.
I know, right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Reasonable.
Like, come on now. You're just fucking lying. That's not the fucking case. I'm sorry.
Strangely, it does support DualShock 4s on the, like, you can even change the prompts to that on the Steam version. So
Cool. That's important.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of
Glad
people.
that's becoming more standard.
yeah,
Right.
because it is becoming more and more obvious that PlayStation controllers are way more like in vogue.
Yeah. Well, they're
And
more
owned.
flexible with the D-pad being the primary input.
And the D-pad not being a weird monster they made it into now.
I'd be fine with the weird monster they have now if it was bigger, but it literally is like the world's smallest pepperoni that curled during a pizza getting cooked. And I'm like, man, my thumbs are too fucking big for this. Come on.
It is weird how long Xbox has remained the default PC controller, even as Microsoft stopped making the wired ones, which feels like it was the reason that happened.
And even weirder, they stopped really innovating.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but
like,
they still had the drivers for it.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Windows.
X input, yeah.
So
Yeah, they got grandfathered into being popular. Yeah, absolutely. Because of things they did during the 360 era.
yeah,
Yeah. When they tried. Remember back when they tried? Yeah, I was thinking about it really recently, which nobody will ever bring up because people aren't this technical, and people who are this technical don't give a shit about Xbox because it's like, you know, at that point it's a margin of a margin, right? I was thinking about it. You remember when leading up to the launch of the Series X, they said, we have an API for you in your render pipeline to pull the controller exactly then on the Series X. You remember
yeah,
this?
I remember that.
I don't know if that went anywhere or if that was just gassing shit up and doesn't actually help or no one's using it, because it's just like the APIs over on the Sony side when sometimes you see a game and it doesn't load insanely fast. Like it just loads really goddamn fast compared to last gen. But I was thinking about that again. I was like, man, I wish I knew a shitload of developers who worked on that end of the company, like all these different developers, where I could ask them, do you guys use that?
Yeah,
Did it work?
I would love to know if it worked.
Because in principle, it's a good idea. But in practice, it's probably a way better idea to just pull really fast.
Right.
Because you don't
Probably.
have to, the developer doesn't have to try then. Just check the state of the controller. Oh, hey, they're pushing this button. Fucking here we go. But yeah, I was thinking about that. On a podcast I listened to recently, they, for the second week in a row, had a segment about how the PS5 doesn't load games as fast as they made it sound like it would. And I'm like, I think you're crazy. Because, yeah, almost every, like, even Live a Live loads insanely fast. It basically pops up with the load screen and goes, I don't know why I did this. And then puts it back down.
Yeah, Dead Island 2 loaded insanely fast.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing that didn't load as fast as I wanted it to was Valkyrie Elysium, which obviously isn't done.
Right, yeah. That even over here on PC with my 4090, it's like Valkyrie Elysium. I appreciate these high-res photos from my lock screen. But come on, man. You can't just hitch every time you need to spawn an enemy next to a box on the other side of the castle. That's bad, man. It's a real problem. It's a real problem that game isn't more popular, so that way there weren't more mods on PC to fix it.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel that way. I wish that could have happened. Anyway. Did you want to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This week, I was interview about Shinobi for the PS2 was brought to my attention.
Yeah, on Shmuplations.
Yes, Shmuplations.
I'm actually a patron of theirs. I think they do some of the most important work. Period. Full stop.
Fair. Yeah.
They've translated so many insightful interviews over the years.
That interview was really interesting.
Yeah, I highly recommend people read that website. The Shinobi for PS2 interview is really great. They're like, one of my favorite parts of that interview is when they're like, you know, I think of this thing that was cool back when I was a kid, and then I think about it again, and I'm like, yeah, his legs and head are huge and look really dorky.
Yeah, the Kamen Rider original, I believe, is what they were talking about.
Maybe that's still cool in an offbeat sort of way. So if we do something that taps into that, no one else is doing that right now, so we'll be ahead of the curve.
I found some of the stuff about difficulty really interesting because it's like they were going off of being told that things like Shinobi 3 were too easy by Europeans. And they're like, well, the Europeans are Westerners, so obviously that applies to everyone. So they made the game harder for the States and for Europe.
Worth noting, comes out in America before Japan. The Japanese release of Shinobi comes out a month after America, according to that interview anyway.
Wow, yeah.
And so we got the version where the difficulty is fucked.
Yeah.
And undoubtedly contributed to that game's poor critical reception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this is when Bob and I started forming the giant chips on our shoulder.
Yes.
When we saw people give this absolutely amazing god tier game a low score because it beat them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the
Japanese version's easier, and then the European version's somewhere in between the two, they said.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is...
It killed me because they were like, super difficulties only to the Western version. It's like, that thing vexed me my entire life. I never beat the final boss on super difficulty. I couldn't.
Yeah. They're like, neither could we. And you're like, then why did you put it in there? Shinobi on PS2 is really great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who made that, right?
The guys who made Sakura Wars.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Overworks. The people that, if I'm to trust Sakura Wars fans, maybe are outcasted a bit by the rest of Sega.
So sad.
Yeah, it is, because Shinobi's fucking based.
Reading the end of this interview made me very sad. Very sad.
Yes.
It's the director's like, now that we've relaunched the Shinobi series, I'm really happy to be able to work on this franchise and build it out more and make all sorts of other original games. I look at his Moby Games. He didn't work on another game. He was gone. I think he's got the special thanks for Nightshade, and that's it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was very upset.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that genuinely will make my 100. I can't imagine it not.
So yeah, after reading this interview,
Bob's like, I've crafted a time machine and I have a gun. Like, who are you gonna shoot? All the rest of Sega? Like, wait,
I
what's this plan?
I got the itch, so I hooked my PS2 up to my CRT TV upstairs.
Oh my God! Okay.
And I'm like, let's just play a bit. I'll play a bit until I feel like I should just stop or it gets old or something. So I started this at 4 a.m. I got to the final boss.
Yeah, of course.
And that's when I was like, this sucks. This guy still sucks. I hate this guy. The rest of that game is immaculate.
Yes.
What were they thinking?
I remember, if I remember correctly, Bob, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe this is just my internal state was magnified as a producer role on GigaBoots content over the... We hit the end of that Let's Play, and I'm just sweating bullets like, what if we can't beat the game? Because even on a normal difficulty, I think it rinsed us like 4 times or something.
Yeah.
In that Let's Play. And we don't edit our Let's Plays to remove us dying at a thing because that's coward shit.
Right.
And we don't borrow footage from other Let's Plays.
Of course.
So we're just like, oh my God. We've been having such a great moment with this game, and now there's this final fucking boss.
Yeah, I beat most every boss on my second or third try.
Yeah.
There's only one other boss that really sucks, and that's the giant statue fight, which I don't know if you remember, but you're fighting like a gigantic Buddha. It's just his head, and there's a little platform in front of him, and he keeps like swinging his arms and summoning dudes.
That's the forgotten one from Lament of Innocence. I'm sorry, you're mixing up games again. How late did you stay up again? Were you drinking the cough syrup again?
But yeah, the final boss, you have to hit him like 8 times before the fight even starts. So there's always like a minute plus of just like
the silence.
No, the health bar is not even there yet. You can't even do damage yet.
Yeah. Well, they're training you on how to fight the boss.
Yeah, but then the hardest part is the move he doesn't do during that part. Where his melee attack, which is signaled only by him being like Like he coughs off screen.
And it's actually hard to pick up. Was it easier on the speakers? Because
No.
we were on headphones, and it took us, I think, a few tries to realize.
Yeah, the lightest
In
little
that Let's Play. Yeah.
and then he starts coming at you with this unblockable, insane teleportation attack.
He has a if I remember correctly, he has a higher movement speed than you, so you just have to deal with like I can't escape.
Yeah, you have to perfectly time your jumps. And then the end of it will be a giant like AoE attack that does massive damage.
Yes.
Like what is wrong with you?
Shiny Mew in chat says, all right, Bob, it's time for the gun check. Could the state of Shinobi be better solved with a gun?
I don't know enough about internal politics in Japan if I could solve that.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
I think that's really sad, though, about the director.
Yeah.
That man made one of the best video games ever fucking made.
Yeah, it's really, really exceptional going back to it. It's like, there's nothing like it. There really isn't.
I think we're on a pretty dark timeline because 7th Gen really ruins the Japanese industry and various things that have happened. But we would be on a much darker one if the same thing happened to, Devil May Cry 3 man when he made Devil May Cry 4 and it was not great.
Yeah, luckily that's still sold, so they just locked him in the chamber instead of killing him.
Right. Luckily, what did he work on after that other than Dragon's Dogma?
I think it was just Dragon's Dogma and then advisor roles on stuff like DMC the DMC.
Yeah. Yeah, that's its own hell.
Mm-hmm.
Overworks were too base to live. That's so sad. Shinobi on PS2 is so great. I'm one of those people with a controversial perspective where I think that one's better than all the others.
Yeah, I think it's easily like way more unique than any of the 2D ones before it.
Yeah. Even though 3 is really good. Like,
yeah, 3 is still one of my favorite games. Like that would I'd absolutely make my top 100 games list.
There you go.
But
that's the difference between us.
But
Because while Revenge of Shinobi's great, it's not as good as Red Saber.
It's so like reading that interview, it's insane to be like they took results from people talking about Shinobi 3, Europeans saying that was too easy when those people played horrifying PC like Eurojank.
Yeah, they're playing microcomputer platformers featuring egg mascots. You shouldn't trust them.
You shouldn't. Like they don't have a bar for difficulty. What are you talking about?
You sound crazy. Why would you ever trust them?
Every British YouTuber's like, that's my favorite retro game. And they just point to a box of knives that runs on some shit called the Logmaster.
But yeah, I like having that sort of window into what they were thinking, even if it was wrong.
Yeah, no, that's why all those interviews are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Shmuplations is really one of the most recommendable things. But guys, I couldn't even convince most of you to watch game developer postmortems. What luck am I going to have trying to convince you to read?
Yeah.
But no, those interviews are all very insightful. There's a reason I've been a patron for so long. I truly think their work is like some of the best.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, okay, no one in chat steal this idea. At one point, I was like, man, I could turn my video skills into like some way to make a video out of those interviews that I bet they would do really fucking well.
Yeah.
Because people don't read.
No, they don't. At all.
Step 1, you fucked up. You wanted people to read. Step 2, you fucked up. You wanted people to go to a website. They want you to post the entire thing as a tweet. Post the entire interview as a fucking tweet. Anyway.
But yeah, that game's really great. I wish we were ever getting another one of them. Oh, well.
Yeah, that sure would be great.
I'm probably going to show Nightshade in at some point and play through all that.
Cool. We should just make a stream or something out of that because I'm curious what's in it. And that, we did the Giving Games a chance.
There was one moment because I watched some of the cutscenes for Shinobi. There was like, okay, we need that as a sound.
Yeah. Which one?
it's a flashback scene where they're opening the sword.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
Akujiki in a box, and all three kids just go, "Wow,
Yeah,
it's perfect,
dude. We lost it during our fucking Let's Play. I'm pretty sure that sound is really good. This is a good sound.
It is.
It's a good sound. It was also really interesting listening to them talk about like the production, how they got people involved in like doing live action stuff. And they're like, yeah, we would like the Wireworks package. They're like, sure thing. We've never done Wireworks before. They're like, what?
Yeah, they hadn't done it in that studio ever or something.
It was insane.
And then they had to go. They could only do 2 actors at once for any scene because of the rudimentariness of their technology.
Right.
It was like, that's crazy that you got this done, because this is what, 2002?
Yeah, they're about 2002. They would have been working on it in 2001 and 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's years before like they got that going for like Devil May Cry 3 and stuff over at Capcom.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. Like you can tell some of the stuff is stilted, but it looks pretty good.
It was funny when they were like, "Yeah, I had him act out some of the scenes on a wire, even though it's on the ground, and to give it that sort of movement." And I'm like, in my head, the moment I read that sentence, I knew which cutscene because of the way Hotsuma runs. It looks so weird.
Yeah, there is one. Something where it looks bizarre.
It's real good, real good. Speaking of live action, when Shinobi Legions is hilarious.
Yeah, that game looks really neat. It seems like it actually plays like a good Shinobi game.
Yeah, you played it a little bit, and you were
Yeah.
surprised by how good it was.
Right? It's just bizarre that it looks terrible.
I
But
guess
at least
that's
it looks funny bad.
You know what you're signing up for when you have a Saturn, right?
I guess.
PS1 guys, they have a range like good to bad, gorgeous to hideous. The Saturn feels like it has even more dynamic range. It's just like, motherfucker, you got Shinobi Legions and Mr. Bones for Christmas.
Oh no!
I'm trying to ruin my child's taste. But hey, Bob, what else did you play?
That is it.
Okay.
Because I stayed up till like 7 in the morning doing that.
That seems like a great use of time, Bob.
Yes.
Hey, Dr. Aggro, what you been playing?
I finally sat down and finished Burning Shores.
Nice.
Excellent.
Oh, my brother in Christ. Oh, there's so much good in it.
Okay.
I loved the figurine collecting and all the little ruins puzzles they added. Aloy's character arc is immaculate. The last hour of that game, they fell down the stairs and forgot how to design a fucking video game.
In what sense?
It's a huge running boss fight that blows.
Okay, so I gotta ask. My super mild spoilers, I guess. I was told through some of the marketing that the reason this isn't on PS4 is because they have that giant fucking turtle monster. Is it the battle with that? Is that the end? And is it suck?
There, you do fight a giant thing. I don't know if I'd describe it as a turtle monster.
Maybe I'm just misassociating it as turtle-like because it's mountainy.
I also saw that the PS5 enabled incredible hugging technology. Like they're apparently super realistic hugs. Did you notice?
There's a pretty good hug, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was registering the hug on an emotional human level. I didn't take time to break down
when you see
the
two
horsepower
characters
involved.
When you see two characters hug in a video game, you don't think about all the polygons and whether or not they're clipping.
I mean, not until they start clipping.
It actually, this does bring up a good point. I forget his last name, but I believe his first name's Dan. I could totally be wrong on that too. Anyways, it was the guy who worked at Sony Santa Monica. And months after the last trailer for God of War Ragnarok, I think it was even this year, is when he first talked about it. He's like, everyone, all the gamers watching this trailer, oh my God, that's so cool. He's shooting the arrow at the moon and the dog chases it. Me, the fucking cloth is still clipping through his goddamn arm.
So I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about this boss fight, we might want to throw up a spoiler tag.
Hell yeah, let's do it. I love my Dragon Quest music. Dun, 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 dun. This isn't Bayonetta Origins spoiler.
Edgar knows those two and will also spoil that.
Why is he doing it? What will stop him? Horizon burning doors.
Boop. Okay. Take it away, Captain.
Okay, so you remember how the end of Forbidden West sucked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like from a story perspective, this was the opposite, where the story was pretty cool, but the entire you fight a Horus.
Okay.
You fight a fucking Horus. You and one other person with hand-propelled munitions take down one of the giant immortal self-replicating battle stations that ended humanity.
That's pretty fucking dope.
Huh.
I will never forget how mad people who were into Warcraft were when World of Warcraft let you kill the Lich King. And I thought of that the entire time I did this.
Fair. That does seem wrong.
The way you do this also sucks.
Oh.
It should be cool. It should have been cool. There's a segment where you're climbing up the mountain that it's on because it's slowly waking up and only one of the arms is awake and it's scanning for you, so you've got to like move from cover to cover and climb the mountain to get past it and a bunch of shit. And it's pretty cool, except the fucking you can just run past it. It's fine. You don't have to engage with that at all. And then you climb into the thing and crawl around it like it's one of those cauldrons, except you're climbing around all this tiny shit, and there's some instant death jumping puzzles that are based on timing, and Horizon's climbing is not up to that.
No.
Then you get to the room where fucking what's his fuck the can't remember his name because he sucks and he's not in the game. Londra, where Londra is, and you do this shitty boss fight in like a 15 by 15 foot room where there's just shit going off all the time. You got to wait for his shield to go down before you can shoot one of four things. And once that's over, you've got to go fight the Horus. Like you're under the Horus and it's like, oh, here's the heat sink weak point. You need to shoot it. Well, this thing that's a half a mile wide with 10 legs is like, it's technically impressive that they did it. This is not a fun thing to fight, guys.
Yeah.
It's
That
like,
seems pretty Guerrilla Core, to be honest.
4 stages long, and like it's made the worse because, and this might just be me misremembering, but I have a strong feeling that, at least the way I played it, the dodging in Horizon 1 was based on not being there when the telegraphed attack came.
Uh-huh.
And in 2, they really, really would prefer it if you would dodge as the attack hit and iframe through it like it's a Dark Souls game.
Like it's a Dark Souls game, yeah.
And that sucks complete ass for the things you fight in Horizon because they all fucking explode. So when it leaps in the air and I dodge out of the way and then it hits 10 feet away and the explosion hits me anyway, I feel bad.
Yeah. Understandable.
So the end of this DLC was a huge fucking like this DLC took this series down 2 points in my mind.
Oh no!
Whoa!
This boss fight is bad, and if like I'm starting to worry that somebody on this team, like the team came up with this great game concept and they're not in charge of it anymore, and somebody else is ruining it because this series is starting to peter out and show its skeleton because everything they add to it is worse and not in line with the original vision as I enjoyed it when I was playing it.
I'm speechless.
Yeah, that's rough.
Just going downhill.
Wow. Well, guys. Please look
this
forward to our Horizon 3 spoiler cast.
This seems like another symptom of like games now taking forever to make. Like when the third game in a series comes out 10 years after the first.
If we're lucky.
There's definitely this element of like, Yeah, none of the same idea people are involved. 10 years is a long fucking time.
Right. Yeah. A lot of them probably left the studio because that's how we are over here, you know?
It's one of those things where I feel like I really respect God of War for doing it's a 2-game series because these games take so long.
Yeah, that was the smartest fucking thing I've seen any developer
Yeah,
do
that was
anytime
great shit.
recently. They're
Yeah.
so fucking smart.
Right?
One more spoilery thing, I suppose. This comes at the very end of the game after the boss fight, which was spoiled for me the morning after the game came out because it was just all
Yes, that was everywhere.
Yeah, it's like every headline. Oh my God, you kiss a girl.
That's the. I figured that was just a thing that happened along the way. Man, these people are psychopaths if they're just posting that the day it comes out.
Well, yeah, they gotta get the clicks, and they gotta get the clicks as soon as they can. So day one.
Like when I saw it, I was like, "Oh man, it sucks that they spoiled that." And then I immediately went, "Oh, thank God that vibe was there. It wasn't just me."
I wanted you to be like, yeah, it wasn't actually romantic at all. Weirdly, like they're friends.
Honestly.
Hey, bro, would you like a kiss? Yeah, bro, I really would like a kiss right now, bro.
Kind of. You have to see the scene. I was like, this is it. This is the most dudes rock kiss I have ever seen. This is just two competent warriors necking for a second and then going their separate ways.
Good job, champ. That was a good kiss. I hope Tosha isn't watching this or listening to this, so that way she never says that to me. I never want to fucking hear that. What the fuck? Okay, I think we're leaving the spoiler zone.
Yeah.
Well, that was a moment. That was the whole thing.
There are, man, some of the best stuff in Forbidden West and some of the worst is in that DLC.
That's really unfortunate.
I am so optimistic about the next game.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Based on what you said about this ending sequence, I both want to see it and don't want to play it. And for the first time ever in my life, I'm thinking, what if I just watch a playthrough on YouTube? I never have that thought. Dan, when's the Horizon DLC stream? Check this out. I've done, no shit, this is not a joke. Our worst performing stream ever is a Horizon 2 stream. So, no. And that's not because Dan only streams what the people want. And I'm like, yeah, we streamed Dino Shokutaku on Halloween. I think we avoided those accusations pretty well. But
Everyone wants that, Dan. What are you talking about?
the people crave to know about Laura. What blood flows through their veins. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm not interested in streaming that. I just want to see that for me.
Yeah, a lot of it sounds like it's going to be visual splendor, so it'd be better absorbed like with HDR on and even closer to TV.
So you're saying we should do a Let's Play?
No.
So that way we could do
Absolutely
a
not.
Let's Play in HDR, Bob? Is that?
No.
God,
No,
yeah,
for
every
you-
now and then that game is still, you just stop and go, holy shit, this is an immaculate super game. Who fucking made this? Why is this game this pretty?
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I mean, the only other thing I played is like immediately after that, I booted Octopath back up.
The
Knocked out a couple
forever
of bosses and then
RPG.
got spanked again. I'm like, I'm 77 hours into this game. I shouldn't be losing boss fights.
What chapter are you on for like your highest chapter?
I finished a couple of them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like Ochet's chapter 4 kicked my nuts in a couple of times. I have not passed that boss fight. I'm gonna go grind on some optional shit and come back.
One thing I noticed while playing Octopass, the experience does not scale how it should. Like I can go to an earlier zone
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
and get almost as much experience
No.
as something that's like way higher level than me.
Dude, that doesn't.
Oh.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's just frustrating because it's like, no, I want to be doing the hard thing, get a lot of experience, not
Do
no, you
the
should just go
easy
grinding the
thing,
easy
yeah.
thing. Like that's not fun.
Yeah,
Is
that's weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Do they scale up to your strength?
No, like I
Not
noticed
really.
that same thing, but when I noticed it, like this is such a bizarre perspective thing. I went, oh, all the piddly little shit I still have to fight because it's a JRPG and that's how they're made, gives me decent enough experience to not be annoying. Cool.
Yeah, and my thing was like the most recent area, the piddly little stuff that isn't that hard to kill should give you significantly more experience than going back to something that's like 3 levels below you and getting about the same.
Yeah. So you're gonna be playing Octopath 2 until like Game of the Year, aren't you?
Are you asking me or girl?
Yes.
I mean, depending on how release schedules work and how much I can put into it,
I read the reviews.
because
Like
there are things coming out tomorrow.
right? I
Yeah.
read the fucking tweet that was just snippets of reviews. It was like, I played 60 hours of Tears of the Kingdom in 2 weeks and I'm nowhere near done. And then someone else is like, I played 80 hours in 2 weeks and there's still so much to do. And I'm like, oh.
It's gonna be like Breath of the Wild, and then you will beat the game, and there'll be about 60% of the game you haven't even touched.
You know, Bob,
What's up?
I haven't brought this up until now. And I thought I would save this until the very last moment to reveal.
Okay.
You know, the reason I didn't play Breath of the Wild was because I was busy with GigaBoots and a job.
Right.
Well, now GigaBoots is the only thing I do. Look forward to the week straight of, Dad, what are you doing? The Tears of the Kingdom won't let me free.
Yeah, I know I'm going in the chamber too. Not much to be said about that other than that's happening.
Yeah, that's fucking
Maybe by the time I'm done, Star Wars Jedi something will be done.
You know, the guy
No.
the guy I refer to as one of the two, this title doesn't make sense anymore. It made sense way back, you know, when I was working there at Publix. But one of the two dudes I referred to as the Xbox guys.
Yeah.
Ran into him. He's like, "You playing that Star Wars?" And I'm like, I kind of have a lot of other things I'm playing. I'll give Star Wars a month to check it out. He's like, "You beat the last one though, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was amazing, and I'm sure this game's great too." He's like, "Runs fine on my machine." I'm like, "Have a good one." But yeah, I am so excited to play that Star Wars game, and I have no doubt that it's really good, which is why I'm going to give it a month or more
To
to iron out these problems, because why the hell not, right?
Yeah, maybe they can at least fix you clippings through random walls.
Yeah.
Maybe.
These are things that should be easy to fix.
Yeah.
Within the span of like a month or two after launch.
Maybe they can figure out how to turn off ray tracing. And then the game can run right.
Oh, that would be
That'd be pretty great.
All you have to do to get radicalized on ray tracing deserves to go to hell is watch the Digital Foundry video where they show it on and it off and listen to be like, look at how much more realized into the physical world it is. And I'm like, I can barely notice, and I'm me.
Yeah.
I just wish I could be in the room with a normal person watching this video as they go, it's the same damn image.
It's like, it looks a little more red, I guess. Is
Well,
this...
the one I always think of, it's like you're supposed to notice that the darker area has a tint green because of the bounce lighting from a nearby green tarp or something.
Oh my God. Please make my game run at 40 frames per second.
I'm so excited for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I feel like the Sony
Oh
games
yeah, I
really
read that
do.
thing.
Oh, you read the comic?
Yeah, the comic.
I read the comic too. I heard Kris read the comic. Aggro, did you read the comic?
No, I only read superior Japanese comics.
I mean, that's objectively true.
I did sign up for Viz Manga.
I mean, I also signed up for Viz Manga.
Oh shit, do they have an app?
they just released it like yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah, they got a.
Hell
an
yeah.
app.
What is it? What's the deal with that?
It's got
This
basically.
episode of Big Think Dimension.
It's basically got all the Shonen Sunday stuff. So like Case Closed, everything Rumiko Takahashi has ever published.
Oh, is that the thing?
Dope.
You
Yeah,
were
it's-
watching. Okay, it was the funniest shit in the world. He was watching the ad for this service, and they're like, "We have everything you know Rumiko Takahashi for, such as Inuyasha." What was it? It was Inuyasha.
Ranma 1/2.
Ranma 1/2, and they space this out so that way there's room for 2 more at the bottom, and instead of doing they just go Yashahime, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's not all of her work. What are you doing?
She didn't even draw that one. What is this?
I'm
Fucking
really
kill me.
glad that Viz has their shit together, because all these other sites popping up to try and sell official scan, like day and date scans to the West, are fucking morons.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shit talk Comic-Key again. I did that on Twitter already.
Yeah, feel free.
Comic-Key is one of these apps, and they do a lot of stuff I really fucking like. They do King and Asura and King and Omega, the mangas of those. And they do the new thing by those people called by the same author, not the same artist as Kingen, but the same author, called Star Strike It Rich, which is like, it's our underground MMA manga, but it's all about insane women.
Who would read that?
But that specifically, they're like, well, unlike our other series, this one's gonna be locked to premium for a week before you can get it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna buy keys to unlock individual chapters of a series. I'm not taking place in your, as Dan called it, the fucking Riddler economy. Give me a subscription. And yes, a lot of people chimed in like, well, that's how all they all are in Japan. It's a different market. Get your shit together.
Right, yeah. You can't, like, if you
can't just
opened
pretend.
If you opened a restaurant here or any other service and just acted exactly as you would in Japan, you can't sit there and be like, why didn't it work? Well, because it's a different fucking culture. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Viz goes, okay, you gave us our monthly fee. Here's the fucking manga. Every other series is, if manga you wish to see, you must solve my riddles 3.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it has the distinct energy of a mobile phone game.
This darn Sphinx won't stop.
There's one of them that has fucking dailies and multiple different currencies and fucking banners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just let me pay money. I'm willing to pay money. I hate this fucking element of gambling that has to be in everything. I give you money, I get thing. I don't want to have to make multiple purchases to get for fucking packs of keys. I don't want to have to do math on what is the most fucking efficient valuation of these keys. And I don't want to have to click 6 times to unlock the next chapter of a series because I have to spend a fucking key to do it.
Stu, what are you doing?
I'm trying to read manga and I've lost control of my life.
Like, I'm willing to pay you, Comic-Key, up to $7 a month. That's more than you're gonna get from most of these people.
What is the deal with this manga though? Like,
It's $2 a month. You got everything.
Yeah, it's $2 a month. It's the alternate to the Shonen. The Shonen Jump one is also $2 a month. They run both.
I thought it was $3 for the Shonen Jump one.
what the fuck?
Maybe I'm misremembering,
But yeah, it's about the same. It's very
It's
low
about-
price and you just get everything.
Guys,
I
it's amazing.
assume
here's
it
the
does-
rec-
it does
here's the
have
recap.
one limitation.
yeah.
You can only quotation marks only read 100 chapters a day.
Holy shit. This is yeah. Oh man. Here's the recap. Grew up poor, loved manga, couldn't afford it.
Yeah, and I also just don't like buying physical manga because it's just too big. It takes too much space.
I mean, I like it, but
I like reading the physical ones too. Yeah,
I don't.
But yeah,
obviously
I just
my collection
can't.
never got as large as yours or anyone else's because I
Mhm.
didn't have the money for it.
Yeah.
I could only afford the best of the best, which is why I own all of Chobits. And Dusk, is that the name of the manga version?
God. Like, 2 manga, the ownership of which, not a red flag. Only owning those 2.
I owned other things. It's just gonna take me a moment to. Are we gonna count DramaCon as DramaCon?
Amerimanga
Oh,
doesn't really count.
There's other.
No,
I'm
but
starting to worry. I'm starting to worry. Maybe I'm not.
it's 7 C's, man. It's all good. Only real ones read 7 C's.
Oh. But yeah, that sounds like a bitchin' deal.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look into that. I'm not
I'm
sure.
literally subscribing as we speak.
Damn, this episode is brought to you by this manga.
Yeah, I didn't crack on the Shonen Jump one for years, and it's like, you just get all of Rumiko Takahashi's work. And I'm like, okay.
Darn.
Your money.
My money. It's burying me with my manga. That's awesome. I need. Have you gotten the Sakurai setup?
No, I have not done anything that great. But this thing is really nice for
Yeah, as it turns
reading
out,
it.
iPads.
Yeah.
Pretty great way to look at things that are page shaped.
Yeah, I can even just do the 2 pages on it, and it looks nice, which is crazy.
I mean, you have a really nice iPad.
yeah,
I can't remember
This
exactly
is like the
what it
highest
was.
end one, the Pro 11-inch.
And it's like from 2021
21 or 20?
Yeah, 2021's right
Yeah,
because it's got an
2021.
M1, right?
Yeah, it's got the M1.
So here's a good question. Like the Sakurai setup, can you get like a mouse?
I
to
bet I can
scroll?
because like it works with Bluetooth keyboard and stuff just fine.
Hot damn. You're gonna ruin your life and get bed sores. Because Sakurai does it while going to sleep, but I imagine every other person who got interested in this will ruin their life. Maybe that's because I'm dating what is the funny quirky Japanese way of saying of shut-in?
Hikikomori.
Hikikomori, yes, a neat. Maybe it's just because of that where I'm like, if she had this set up, she would literally not leave bed for a day straight.
Sakurai, you killed my wife.
Could this marriage be better solved with a gun? Well, my wife would still be alive, and I would be in prison. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking
no
about before
idea.
this became an ad for Viz Manga? Let's see, the Riddler economy, Viz Manga. I don't know. Agro's done talking about Octopath. Chris, what have you been playing? How the fuck did we get here? Spider-Man comic!
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man comic. Okay.
Oh, thank God. Chat, remember. We literally could have just gone
Yeah,
without.
it's funny that they called that a prequel comic to Spider-Man 2, which I guess is true in the sense of it takes place before.
Right.
Right.
It's not so much true in the sense that it matters, except for the fact where they went, yeah, we're not doing this one specific thing we did in Miles Morales in this game, and I'm like, good.
Yeah, I feel like they literally set up a device you will probably use in the game, and then they also set up the notion that the Tinkerer stuff is being jacked by dudes and used.
Right. There are a few little threads that'll probably be in the main game, but aren't like super important.
But that's the
being
thing.
Blind.
Based on what people have told me about prior Spider-Man game tie-in comics, it's going to be one throwaway line at the end of a mission, and it'll just be like, by the way, that guy's fine.
Yeah, the biggest thing is probably going to be, one, I feel like the Peter and MJ thing in this was like, don't worry, it's not going to be like the first game where she's like, Peter, why don't you respect my autonomy as a person? Why do you always think you have to go save me? I'm going to go get in a situation where you have to do that.
Yeah. And it sure makes sense if they just made her really competent.
So they did that, and then I feel it was just like, yeah, we're just gonna go back to Jameson running the fucking paper.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I'm glad there's a change too.
And Miles Morales is fine, but I really thought it was really hacky how they tried to make Jameson into Alex Jones.
I thought it was
Because I fucking
funny.
love Jameson.
Oh.
I mean, I love Jameson, and it's just so hacky. It's like, this guy's abrasive. We got to make him whatever right-wing guy is like in vogue at the time.
Well, that's the sort of thing you do where you sometimes you create a character and you need to parallel the modern version of that, because the version of that would have been popular back then, he would have ended up as Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, I liked what they did with him in the first Spider-Man game, but I don't remember too well the bits they went on in Miles Morales. Maybe it did get worse.
It was so close to just making him outright like an alt-right guy.
I don't want to look at
It
chat and read where was Jameson on January.
Yeah, it was like to that level because they paralleled him with the epic Zoomer liberal podcaster,
Yeah.
and it was too much.
I am
Like even the modern comics are like, yeah, Jameson gave teenage Peter Parker a job because he knew that his uncle had just been shot. And it's like, it feels like it stripped the humanity away from Jameson by just making him into Alex Jones.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's absolutely what they did. But yeah, I'm glad they're not doing the same thing again. But I did enjoy it before, but I didn't exactly enjoy the great debates he got into in that game. It was kind of a little cringe, but it's supposed to be. So I don't know. At the end of the day, this comic has just let me know that that's the way they've changed things.
Right.
And so that's neat.
There was one thing in it that scared me, which is that there was an editor's note in the corner of a panel that referenced fucking Spider-Geddon, which is one of the big multiverse crossover Spider-Man events. Because they were like, this happened in Spider-Geddon 0. And I'm like, please don't let that touch the games. Please keep it away.
Yeah.
I don't want that insane thing that I am almost certain was fake to not be fake, and there's actually multiverse shit in this game.
Yeah,
God,
if John Linneman gets this game being a multiverse game right, we're gonna have that Pokemon go to the movies. Because I don't need that. I don't need more multiverse fiction, and yet it's still incredibly possible. We don't know until the game's in our hands.
Just inject Mary Jane with the spider powers to do something so you don't have to bring in multiverse people to get a female Spider-Man.
Dude, you already have 2 Spider-Men. We're good. Make a fucking game. We don't need more.
No, we need more. I'm just saying, if you need to do something, do not do multiverse, please.
Yeah, just
anything.
Like, it's hacky and gives me trauma because of the fucking clone saga to even say the term clone, but just be like, just make game Spider-Gwen a clone. That'd be better than a multiverses thing.
We have so many interesting loose threads left by the first game that weren't really touched on in Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, they left everything up in the air from the first game.
It's so cool. And so if this is a multiverse, I'll jump off a bridge. So when it comes out and it's a multiverse, I better get out of the state with a baker's hat. Anyway, hey, did you play video games, Kris?
I have to issue an apology to the Borderlands franchise.
Yeah!
While your writing is insipid and stupid, and Randy Pitchford should be fed to wild dogs.
All true.
If for no other reason than that profit sharing shit he pulled.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands 3 is a really great game mechanically and in terms of shooting, and it runs at like 120 frames a second on PS5, which feels insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it sure is a lot more impressive and well put together as a game than many, many, many things we've covered doing these podcasts. Yes, fucking make it bigger. Just twist the knife. I also apologize to Dan and Bob because I'm now on Aggro's side. So when Borderlands 4 comes out, guess where we're gonna be?
I know. Seeing you tweet about it made me go download it.
Yeah, I bought it really close to the PS5 launch, and I was like, oh, this runs good now,
right? Because I enjoyed Borderlands 1.
Yeah,
and I
enjoyed
really
2
like, it had
somewhat.
some cool stuff.
And then before the sequel was terrible.
It's just funny, but like, what is this? It's just funny to pick up a gun, reload it, and go, oh, I throw the entire gun away, and it becomes a spider turret that helps me, but it costs the entire unspent magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, there's weird, quirky stuff in that.
I got a gun. This gun fucking tears ass. It is unbelievable. I actually have 3 guns like that at the moment. But this gun, it shreds enemies instantly, and when they die, they release 8 projectiles out of them in a ring, and those projectiles do so much fucking damage. They do 12 times the finishing hits damage.
Mm-hmm.
That gun has killed me more than any enemy in the game, because I touch one of those projectiles and it drops me from full shields, full health down onto my knees instantly. I also have the pop pistol that shoots 3 rockets for each bullet.
Yes, that's always good.
That tears ass, and I have the shotgun that shoots chain lightning and eviscerates everything I shoot it at.
I have to ask about the newer Borderlands. Still 4-player, right?
Yeah.
Man,
You know what we have to do.
It
when we
really
make a 4.
feels. Yeah, I know. It just feels like they know, like they get what Diablo is more than Diablo does
I didn't
now.
want to fucking say it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about Diablo fucking 4.
That's 100% they do.
Are you ready for the big server slam weekend event on the day that Zelda launches because they're idiots?
Are you saying in an alternate universe Zelda has an online component that would just crash it?
No, I'm saying that they're doing that tomorrow. They're launching their big. They're trying to mash this. They're calling it the server smash for Diablo 4 to test the servers
On the launch of Tears of the
Zelda.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
But yeah, the game's really well polished and runs really well and plays really well and has lots of guns that do fun things. And instead of having like 5 enemy types like Redfall, it has like 30.
Yeah. Redfall not a good point of comparison for any shipped game.
It's funny how the game has made me laugh one time unintentionally, which is Lilith, who I guess is a character from Borderlands 2.
And 1, right?
Yeah, Lilith, I believe, is the first siren.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the siren one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's like a live action version of her that pops up in the center of the screen to talk to you sometimes.
They've been doing that since the first one. Yeah.
Yep.
And all I can think of is whenever it happens is I think of that South Park episode where the shop teacher keeps thinking of his dead wife. It's like, because it just pops up in the middle of the screen, kind of has like a dream effect on it. It's like, Richard.
It does look exactly like that.
Jesus.
This game has been painful on the level of, I now know what every not funny comedy game I've ever played is trying to be. Agro, you beat Borderlands 3, correct?
Yes.
I did all the shit with the Katagawa company, like that whole plot line.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is just Saints Row the Saints Row. Like it's down to like and by the way, Saints Row the Saints Row came out 3 years after Borderlands 3, so it could be directly inspiring and not just tonally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so similar where it's like characters are really consumerist as a joke, which actually makes more sense in Borderlands because it's a cyberpunk dystopia. It's like space capitalism where you have all these megacorps.
Mhm.
Right.
But it has that element. It has the corporate terminology for this war. It has all that shit. And I'm like, oh God, this is literally just what they were ripping off. Come on. Except I can't believe that like Borderlands does it better. It does it better.
Yup.
It's still not good, but Borderlands 3 has so far, outside of the fucking opening mission where Claptrap won't shut the fuck up.
That's just a staple at this point.
Outside of that, the game is largely just completely neutral to me on the writing front. I'm like, yeah, this isn't funny, but this is like any mid-tier Adult Swim show that isn't funny.
Oh, we have some 12-ounce mouse energy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the middle tier
it's
on
above
adults.
that line.
Okay.
It's like Squidbillies. A lot of it is just kind of what, but you know,
There
like
you
when
go.
it works, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. The lady wants me to go get her coffee, and she's really into the coffee. I get it. Thank you.
Would you say it is more or less funny than High on Life?
More.
Not a high bar, but all right.
They are very fucking similar. But the difference in Borderlands 3 is that nobody's obviously ad-libbing terrible dialogue.
That helps.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
the worst thing that happened to comedy.
When you boot this game the first time, a giant full screen ad for New Tales of the Borderlands shows up, and apparently this also happens in Borderlands 2 now.
Yep,
and
it sure does.
pre-sequel,
Come on.
They updated those well after launch to do that.
which is embarrassing, but makes sense because nobody I've met in my entire life, even huge Borderlands fans, like New Tales from the Borderlands. They all love the Telltale one, the first Tales from the Borderlands, and apparently characters from that are in Borderlands 3. I don't fucking know who they are.
Yeah, they recast him or something. People were upset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the guy that was that's the guy that Ray Chase plays, because originally it was Troy Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And then and Randy Pitchford was like, "We refuse to work with the union, so it can't be Troy Baker again."
I
you
can't
think we would
believe
work with the
Reggie
unions?
would be unwilling to work with the union.
He's like, "Do you know why I put Gearbox in Texas?"
You love the environment, culture. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like, I'll continue to slander Borderlands writing, except still less, because again, not that unfunny. Like, it's not funny, but it didn't hurt me at any point, except when Claptrap won't shut up.
So you haven't played 2, right?
No.
I'm very excited. Go back and play 2. Do it.
I will. I own it on PC.
Good. Good. I need to know.
It'll be funny if I come and be like, yeah, not Randy. Anthony Birch's writing is worse.
Probably is.
I mean, I'm a hater, so whatever I say, whatever, but I never thought Hey Ash, What You Playing was funny. People are like, what the fuck is that, Dan? And I'm like, shut up.
I will say, why do vehicles in this game feel worse than Halo 1?
Because it's funny as shit. They feel like the Duke Nukem Forever vehicles.
They do.
Like, I shouldn't be driving by holding forward on the left stick and turning with the camera.
Yeah, like I sat down one day with Borderlands 1 and decided, you know what? I'm going to learn to drive this fucking car. It's a skill set that has served me well.
Yes.
But it was kind of like getting used to playing Sonic when I was a kid. And after that, I couldn't play any other platformers.
Oh, no.
When you get really used to driving Borderlands vehicles, you play anything else and you suck.
That's tragic. When we eventually go back to do our giant online multiplayer with our fandom for Warhawk using the new private servers, you're going to be terrible at it. Wait, does your PS3 still work?
But yeah, if not for the terrible vehicles, I would almost be willing to give Borderlands 3 the title of Immaculate Super Game because of how good its next gen features are.
Yeah, I was going to say, you surely should have tried that on the PS4.
Yeah, that was kind of rough.
Man, this gen sure is great. Things run well and load fast. It sure is. That's good enough to be happy about what's going on, and we sure don't need features strapped on that make games run worse or anything else. Right, guys?
That's right, Dan.
really, no fucking ray tracing. Get out. I really appreciate. I really appreciate like the 400 puzzles they put in this game in an arcade machine in your hub.
Huh.
They just made like this weird puzzle game where you match blocks to rows using like spacers, and they made like 300 levels. And for doing well, you get points that you can spend on buffs, and the most important buff is increase your loot quality for an hour. And then you kill a boss and a bunch of oranges drop out of him. But yeah, I don't know if it seems to be pretty fucking long. I think I'm like a 40% through after playing for like 20 hours.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I'll probably go back to it whenever the part of my brain that says play Diablo kicks in and I need to get loot and shoot guys.
But they have a new Diablo.
What character are you playing?
I am playing as Mose. She's the one that summons the big
the giant robot.
Herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I haven't been doing that since I got the gun that tears ass because it kills guys faster than her armor. It has become the oh yeah, by the way, on the subject of this kicking the shit out of Redfall.
Yeah, obviously.
All of Redfall's level up shit is real boring, but in Borderlands 3 it's shit like yeah, you deal more damage now if you fire while you're running.
And
I'm like, that's how I like to play these games, so I guess I'll take all 5 levels of that and put on a class mod that gives me 4 additional levels of it on top of that. Because why would I ever stand still and crouch behind cover? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, the skill trees in that game are really smart, especially when you mix them with the class mods of like, yeah, I just put points in shit that I already do and I get better at it.
I mean, again, the way I play Halo is I advance while firing, and if I'm close enough, I hit the melee button. Which
I'm gonna
works
keep
great on
doing
normal,
this.
not so much on heroic.
And if you get shot to death, then that's your fault.
I also played Uncharted 3. I did a death stream of Uncharted 3, did the whole game in one shot. I heard for years some variants of they made the set pieces first and then interconnected them, so and you can tell.
Mhm.
I didn't think that meant there's a 2-hour chunk where Drake teleports to another dimension.
Yeah, he ends up at the home for infinite losers.
I didn't think there was the where Drake is knocked unconscious, wakes up in a ship graveyard,
Yeah.
gets on a cruise ship, gets swept out to sea in a tsunami, and wakes up right where he was.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's insane.
I need to play this game again. I don't
It's
remember
so
it being that
fucking
jarring.
It
That's
really
insane.
is.
Yeah,
I
it's-
fucking lost it. That's why when that came up on Big Thing, I was like, no fucking shit. Like, no fucking shit. They wrote the story after they wrote the set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That writer was sweating blood trying to make this shit line up.
Talbot's so bad. He
Did you
just
find his
has
mystery?
He just has magic powers.
Did you find his lamp?
Like, I can like the thing isn't just that he has magic powers, it's that every single magic power he displays would be explained by one line of dialogue they didn't do.
Right, they're not interested.
It's like, well, you got shot right in the chest. How are you fine? Well, not even a line about being a bulletproof vest. Everybody's just mystified. The game treats it like it's a mystery.
It's almost like everyone in the game goes, what the fuck? And then every time Talbot just goes, like he's not gonna explain it.
It's so surreal to play a video game, which should be immune to this sort of thing, feel
Yes.
like you're watching 3 seasons of a show where the first season was written by J.J. Abrams and neither of the other 2 were. So J.J. Abrams set up this shit that had to be explained and had no idea what it was, and then other people have to come in and explain it. That's how Uncharted 3 feels, which is insane.
Yeah, I have to ask you, did you expect when you finally played Uncharted 3 that every meme about the game would actually be 110% accurate?
No, I didn't expect that.
You expect people are embellishing a bit, even slightly, but instead it's like you're literally standing on top of a thing and he appears around a corner where there's no way to that corner. How did he get there? And then he disappears. He goes right
he
back
does-
and he's gone.
He does shit where he like runs around a corner, Drake is chasing him and turns it, and there's fucking nothing there. There's a dead wall, and it's like, where'd he go?
Yeah. That's the game. It's just like, what the fuck is Talbot's deal?
The way they write Cutter, the character that had to be written out because he got a job on The Hobbit, the actor.
Oh, is that?
Oh, that's what's up.
That's apparently what happened. Is the actor got work on The Hobbit while they were doing that game, so they had to write him out.
Oh,
It's really funny what they write, where the villain just sets fire to the thing he's on, and he has to jump off and break his leg, and then he's
Yes.
just written out of the story.
I thought that was so weird because it felt like he went to that area to get Cutter,
Yeah.
and then he breaks his leg and you get nothing.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's such a weird moment because it's like 6 armed people walk up to him, and then there's what is her actual name? What is Hillary Clinton's actual name?
Marlowe, I think.
Yes, Marlowe. She walks up and she's just like, "Oh, Cutter, blah blah blah. You betrayed me. Ha ha ha. We have you now." And then they just have canisters of gasoline to put all over this fucking rock area and light it on fire. And Cutter's like, "Oh fuck. Oh Jesus. Oh Christ!" And then just jumps and breaks his leg immediately. And I'm like, this is so much funnier than it should be.
There's
What?
the mind control drug is really stupid.
That's one good scene though.
Especially considering that it functions identically to the hallucination water at the end, but they are not related.
Oh no!
Nothing in the game says they are.
I just assumed they were.
They have to be.
There's not a single line. There's nothing implying they're the same.
Okay. All right.
What I hate to CinemaSins a game because
Uncharted 3 asks for it, though. It does.
well, what the fuck do you mean, Drake? You jump in the trip balls water to get Sully, and you're like, man, I hope neither of us swallowed this. Do you not understand that your fucking eyes and your nostrils and your skin, all these fucking membranes that can absorb fucking water? And it's like, wow, good thing neither of us opened our mouth.
That's it. I finally connected the dots. Uncharted 3 story is the only game outside of Sucker Punch, I feel, that made me feel exactly like I did playing Infamous 1 and 2. Where I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? What?
Yeah, it's very funny that the game's subtitle is Drake's Deception, a thing that happens in the first 20 minutes of the game, and there is no further deceptions.
Yeah, they didn't know what to name that one, okay?
Yeah,
It's so clear.
obviously.
Drake's arc is really fucking not there, but they sure pretend it is.
Did you play 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
they
All
just
right.
do it again in 4, except it actually makes sense in 4.
But they earn it, and there's like good nuance to it. And there are layers, and I'm like, man, it's really fucked up that you get the two guys from The Last of Us. They come back, they're like, hey, how's Uncharted 4 going? And fucking Amy Hennig's like, here's my script, and they're like, huh. We're just gonna do 3 correctly this time because we saw you fuck that up while we were gone. It's like fucking weird, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
That is that is outrageous enough to be like that fake Mark Cerny comic, if you recall, where Mark Cerny kicks down Ken Kuragi's door.
Oh my god, that.
He's like, you're gonna let me keep my office, right? He's like, no, Ken, get the fuck out of my office. Yeah. What the fuck? I don't know if Amy Hennig is actually good. I have no idea. We don't have a point of reference even.
Yeah, she's working on another Star Wars thing right now. Maybe she'll be allowed to finish that without them ripping every single thing out of it.
Yeah, isn't
Right?
she also involved with the Jade Raymond thing?
I think this is separate.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, and then it's like you try to look at the rest of her history, and it's like, well, they ruined the game she was making with Soul Reaver to make it a part of, the Legacy of Kain universe. And that's me talking from her perspective, not my own personal bias for the record, because she was writing a thing about fallen angels and all this other stuff, and they're like, they're vampires now because you're a part of this universe, and she's like, fuck, which I would be too if I met Silicon Knights.
Yeah.
It's so unbelievably funny that she got that she went to Jack and is like, Jack is now a fallen angel. Some writers some writers really are built like fighting game characters, and they only have so many moves.
That was pretty cool, though. I liked it a lot.
Also a time loop in Jack. There's also like a time loop.
Yeah, it sure fucking is. We were laughing our asses off at that part of Jack 3. We're like, wait a minute.
Now you're gonna tell me there's some sort of pillars.
There might have been pillars in Jack 3. I don't know. I didn't pay close enough attention.
We're gonna like scrape the paint off the credits of Blaze Blue and see like Amy Hennig.
That'd be great. But yeah, I feel like there aren't enough instances of Amy Hennig being able to craft a thing from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and just do her own thing. I think the closest we've ever had is Uncharted, and you can tell because of Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 4, a lot of that energy was definitely Bruce Straley and Druckmann, because they were co-directors on 2, and then they were co-directors without Hennig on 4.
Yeah, I can't blame, like, writing wise, 3 has nothing almost. Like, it doesn't really have character moments. It does, like, it has a couple between Drake and Sully. And then it has the weird thing of like, Drake, you're in too deep. You're gonna get everybody killed on this. What are you out to prove, Drake? And I'm like, he's not. Like, this doesn't seem any different from the shit in 1 and 2, except now he's up against fucking
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, who they go in to think Tomb Raider stole everything specifically from Uncharted 3.
I don't doubt it.
Because Uncharted 3 has Tomb Raider 1 levels of the shit is falling out from under you.
Yes, we call that escalation.
Uncharted 3 also has the secret organization from Beyond Time, because they say that Marlowe, her organization, they were the Masons, they were were every evil organization.
That's
in
what.
history.
God.
Yeah, that's what
so
you do.
hackish.
That's what Jumper was great.
and that's why all the guys you fight in Uncharted 3 outside the pirates are like fucking Agent Smith and have like sunglasses and suits.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Talbot would have been much cooler if you had a fist fight with him in a subway.
Yeah.
Drake doing the throat jab 1,000 times, but it's to Talbot.
I wasn't sure if you were saying Subway the restaurant or a Subway. So I was like, is this a reference to the movie?
Right, the Uncharted movie or the Matrix movie?
Right? Which one is it?
And then you get the insane part at the end where Drake destroys an entire ancient city the size of like Atlantis with 3 bullets.
Well, look, he hit that really important chain. Now
And
it's
then-
no
and
longer
I think-
buoyant.
And I think Sully even yells, "How'd you do that with 3 bullets?"
Then he shrugs, and then Talbot shrugs and turns into a puff of gas.
Uncharted 3 has a lot of cool set pieces, though. Like a lot. More than 2, I think.
Yeah.
Like 2 has the train, and that's very cool. It has some of the glacier stuff. It has like you're fighting the tank as it runs through the village. But 3 has you're fighting across ships in a big storm, like you're jumping from ship to ship.
Mm-hmm.
It has the cruise liner that turns sideways as you're on it.
That was their E3 showcase.
It was very cool.
So it was really funny to find out how weirdly integrated it was into that fucking story.
The first drugs thing is the first time Drake gets drugged is really cool because it's like a really cool technical effect. It's all melting as you're running through these cities.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're on horseback with the Bedouins and chasing the convoy and doing like the Last Crusade shit
Mm-hmm.
is also very, very cool, which then they did better in Uncharted 4. They did like the exact same set piece.
Cruelty knows no bounds.
Yeah.
And Uncharted 3 has the plane, which is also very cool.
It is.
Unless you remake it in a movie.
And then it's no longer cool.
I liked that. I liked Uncharted 3 quite a lot on a gameplay level because I understood when to turn to easy.
After last week with I played Tomb Raider with the gun that kills time. And then this week and I figured out how to easy. I'm like, are these the same game anymore? Like, what did you play Uncharted 1 on? One moment.
I played 1 and 2 entirely on normal.
Never mind. You earned it just by playing through 1 on normal. 1's bullshit. You have
3 just I got to the point of in the ship graveyard where it's like, oh man, I don't want to deal with all these fucking rocket guys and turrets and snipers.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to easy.
Yeah.
I'd sure like Uncharted a lot more gameplay wise if you just had twice as much health. Like it just feels like Drake dies so fucking fast.
He does die really fast, which is why like my iconic remembering playing Uncharted experience, and this may be because of me playing Uncharted 3, is just hearing the death sound over and over.
Yeah, I feel like Uncharted 4 hits that balance a lot better because I don't remember being annoyed with it in Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Uncharted 4 feels like when they perfected the action hero simulator gameplay.
Yeah, I have to wonder if they were afraid to make him too bullet spongy. Like, that would lose the realism and start edging more towards Gears of War.
But
Like,
I
if
mean,
there's-
from the starting point they had, impossible to make him too bullet spongy. Like I remember in 3, at a certain point in a couple of fights going, okay, there's only one order to shoot at these enemies that will allow me to survive, and I have to find it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
game design.
That's how some of this shit in Uncharted 3 is. Uncharted 3 also, you can tell they were running out of ideas because they introduced brutes. They introduced big guys that are 8 feet tall that are immune to gunfire.
Oh,
You have to melee them.
huh.
Yeah.
And they don't have armor. I remember the first time I tried to shoot one, I just shotgunned him twice in the chest. I'm like, oh, he walked through and punched me.
Yeah, no, it was fucking upsetting when that happened to me because the same exact thing happened.
Yeah, fair.
Shotgun point blank, didn't care.
So yeah, you gotta knock him onto his knees so Drake can like do the Dempsey roll on him and back and forth punch him for like 15 seconds, and then he'll go down. Did I play anything else? I played more Rise of 3, but that I didn't get. I didn't beat it, and so there's nothing additional to say.
Oh, okay.
So that's all I played.
Oh, fuck, Podlords!
Oh fuck!
Toddlers are so soothing.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as...
How we doing over here? Is the full gameplay showing that?
Yeah! Podlords such as... E. Lee Broyles. BN12. Have a Daisy Mugface.
Oh, nice.
Is this close enough for Saved You?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it's quite what he wants.
I appreciate this, though. Red Blaze 27. Suzu Shiro. Shibuya Gato. She is vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24 months. The blep is incredible. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF Spider-Man. Mr. I Like Spam. The Redfall Experience. DFW 3K. Shiny Mew. Kristen. Kyle Bjork. Hi, I'm sick. Duo Izaku. Send co-host.
That's fuck.
Incorrect.
I don't like looking at that.
Yeah, it's like a weird fusion of a Zaku and a Mario enemy.
Bing Bing. Zaku. Iron Aggro. Blig the Blue. Schlig the Spoo. Monster Hunter Ryzen and Raiden. The $70 game that can't lock 60 frames per second to rule them all.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Cooper Tank.
Correct.
Moon Muse Entertainment Studio. Indigo Sykes. Drive Typecast would like to recommend The Manga Boku Girl. It's cute, funny, and Loki is there. Gaijin. Evil Lucario. Live Raccoon Reaction.
Good raccoon.
That
He's
is
very,
very-
like, he looks clean. Like, it looks like he's been washed.
Yeah, it's a very clean raccoon. It's very cute. I like the field of view we got on this. Gives the raccoon's nose a sense of depth that I actually really like. I appreciate this. Thank you. 1989. Oh, wait. That doesn't have an image this week. 19891410991915243995. Somebody actually translated that last week. I can't remember if it was in the podcast, Patreon, Discord, or the comments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Super Mim. We don't need Jinkaria to also be Tracy Sketchit. Loud and clear, guys.
I don't think it came through clear enough.
That would have been a really different bound art because it'd be like, Tracy, what's our plan? I'm going to use my wind powers to look at girls undressing without their consent.
Everyone leaves, but the mommy
The
power simp.
crackhead.
The crackhead with the snakes? Is that the one you're thinking?
No, the one with the orange hair who gets killed by Soifon.
Oh, right, him.
You know, if Tracy Sketchit is just standing there in that jacket, it would be like pulled on the ground around his feet.
Yes. Is this not cool?
Sarlene. acquisitions, exclusive software, such meaningless things. I'll destroy them all.
I think that's giving Phil too much credit nowadays.
Bearded Joe, Pleochrome, Krunglespum. Somehow, all the fighting games releasing this year, the HoloLive one is the most based. There are some scrimblow-ass bimblos and cassette beasts like Candevil, the Pastel Horn Devil, Cantankerous Clouds. They're so grumpy. This Tears of the Kingdom commercial hit way too damn close to home. I feel way too seen. Please help.
Wish I could ride a bus.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch that ad. I'm not immune to Nintendo ads, so I'm not even gonna watch them.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm smart enough to know I'm not above that. And slightly above average. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank Podlords.
Thank you, Papa.
Lords.
Thank you, Pod Lords! And if you'd like to become a Pod Lord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Pokemon Go to the Movies, our 2 monthly anime review podcasts, wherein we review 5 or more episodes of Bleach at a time or a movie, and a Pokemon movie every month, and both those shows will continue until the heat death of the universe. You also get extended content for other shows we do when indeed such content exists for you to be given, and a patron exclusive show one a month where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. If you don't have any money, it always helps us immensely to tell your friends, rate us on Thursdays, like us on your podcast app of choice and leave us a review, or just like us on YouTube if you're watching that way. Right now, do it right now if you're watching on YouTube right now.
Please, we
If you're
need
listening-
this.
And if you're listening on a podcast app right now, please go leave us a review on it. Thank you. Patreon.com/gbpodcast.
I hear we got news. Is that right?
Allegedly. There's not much, but it's there.
Yeah,
Okay,
not
all right.
much.
I actually don't know what news I'm going to start with this week. Does anyone have any preferences? Yeah,
No, not
that's,
really.
that's how this week's going.
Yeah,
Okay, all
there's
right.
nothing big.
Yeah, there's nothing. Let me just open the Big Thing channel. Oh, there's hyper realistic Epona from Majora's Mask. All right, that's Oh yeah, there's some news I didn't get to cover in time last week. Let me start with that. Really piddly stuff, but really important. So you guys may recall, I was talking about people found out there's a USB Type-C standard that Apple literally engineered so that way it seemed like they were trying to skirt around having general compatibility while still to the letter of the law obeying and making it so you could charge via USB Type-C.
Yeah.
The CMA is like, hey, Apple, we see you. Don't. That fucking killed me. I'm like, oh, shit. You telling me the people in the CMA can read? That's
A lot of
nothing.
companies are not counting on that.
Yeah, no, they really aren't. And honestly, I'm not used to that from government bodies. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That is an incredible moment. Hell yeah, keep shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. Anyways, let's get to the next bit of news, though. Yeah, my throat's really rough. I need to get up and get a drink. Should I start with the Bob stuff? No, let's keep it with the CMA tangent. Hey, guys. The Competition and Markets Authority of the UK restricted Activision and Microsoft from investing each other.
Yeah. It's completely.
This is unhinged. This is because you said you would hit me. This is because you threatened us economically. You can no longer invest in each other. Fucking insane. Dude, if we said this during Gamer Premonitions, everyone would have been like, you idiots, that's not going to happen. This is fucking, like, unbelievably fucking savage. They're getting shot to death in the streets.
Right.
That's insane. Hey, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say there's no way Activision doesn't walk away with the $7 billion or whatever, the $4 billion.
Yeah, the huge.
Why would you not? At this point, it's looking so unlikely, and you can just make $4 billion.
Right? pay us and try again in a decade.
No, we want to keep this one going for the decade. No,
you don't.
No,
You really don't want to do that. You really, really don't want to do that. Had some thoughts on that Phil Spencer interview since, but I don't know if any of them are salient enough to express. So, just a bunch of like, yeah. Why are you asking for pity? You literally have been running Xbox for almost a decade now. You can't sit here and pretend that you didn't get any control of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're gonna move right past that. Let's go to Bob News. Hey, Bob.
Sure, just top of it.
Yeah, sure.
Sony announces the PlayStation India Hero Project. This is a lot like the China Hero Project, where they just look for devs over there.
They announced PlayStation Heroes India. You get Indian Nathan Drake, all your favorite PlayStation characters, but Indian.
Are these India heroes on the move?
Yes, they are. In fact.
If they started making just straight up things with Bollywood style like musical numbers in them, that would be incredible.
So good. That's the best timeline. The best timeline is the India Hero Project. For people who don't know, the China Hero Project, they find smaller upcoming developers in China and now in India,
right,
in order to help greenlight their games. We have a number of games from Sony that are upcoming that are a part of the China project. I cannot remember the name of the one with the giant ass. I mean, with the cool person in the wetsuit.
I always think of Lost Soul Aside, which isn't that one.
Yeah, it's not that one.
They also, Fist already came out. That was one of them in the China Hero Project.
I always forget that because I did not know that until it came out.
Right. And the one you're talking about, which I do not know.
I don't know. Stellar Blade!
Is that part of it? I thought that was Korean for some reason.
No, I'm pretty sure Stellar Blade is Chinese.
Okay.
I think it's a part of the same project. God of War Samsara. Yeah, so we're already seeing stuff come out of it. And now they're aiming at India. Meanwhile, Microsoft is like, we would love some games. I'm pretty sure they also said we need to do an initiative like that too. And it's like, then why aren't you?
Right, you've had so many years of seeing these initiatives.
Okay,
work.
people are saying Stellar Blade is Korean. Okay, someone misinformed me then. I apologize. But yeah, no, the Lost Soul Side Fist, and wasn't there a third one?
There's several others. Like I've seen like 4 or so.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Get these people like financing.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean these people? But no, that shit's really dope. It reminds me, it's the tail end of 7th gen, the beginning of 8th. What?
Anno
Mutationum. Yes.
Yes.
Anno Mutationum. Yeah. Yes. But it reminds me of the tail end of 7th gen, the beginning of 8th gen, where they're like, what if games from South America?
Oh,
yeah, because we had a couple of those. I can't remember the names of them right now. Sorry. Rhyme might have been one of them. At very least, I know there is one specifically in my head that I remember the game name, but you do not want me to describe it because it will just be the darker plot material of the game, which is abuse. But yeah, anyways, that is Naraka Blade Point Xbox exclusive. I think.
I don't remember.
PC and Xbox. Anyway. That's cool. I'm glad they're doing that. I want to see what comes out of this.
Right.
I'm just thinking of like when we found out a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, it was last year, so it's a couple months ago that it came out, but we didn't talk about it until like a couple weeks ago. How Xbox had a chance to get Genshin as an exclusive and just passed it over, and then they became like they've been running around trying to find their Genshin because of that. And I'm like, man, it'd be nice if you took any initiative that wasn't reactionary.
Yeah. In fact, if you Google that, you can see from IGN, Microsoft reportedly regretted missing out on, in quotes, making Genshin Impact an Xbox console exclusive. They reportedly passed on the chance to make Genshin an Xbox console exclusive, something the company regretted after the game blew up. They have the worst tastemakers in the world over there.
Yeah, it really, between this and what happened with Spider-Man, it really feels like that they're hard committed to this bizarre brand as the PC console.
Well, not only that, they just genuinely don't know what a good game looks like outside of a sequel to a game they've already made.
Like, yeah, it's like
their version of letting Playground differentiate, do something new, is letting them make a Fable game.
Yeah. God, just how do you look at it's anime Breath of the Wild and not be like, yeah, we want in on that? How do you not see that?
Yeah. I could say some things. I always try to assume the best, so I never want to go because we're racist. But yeah, I don't know. But they have the worst tastemakers in the entire game industry. They really do. They really, really, really do. For example, what was it? The Coalition was working on some spy game, and now that's just not happening, and they're making another Gears.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this sucks. This sucks.
And they have whoever over there thought that Redfall was ready to launch.
I don't think anyone thought.
I don't.
When
not
I
a
look
chance.
at, when I see Redfall on the market, I go, no one thought.
Fair.
I don't know. Like it takes us like I can't believe they're so callous as to be like, we're shipping this to die.
Mm-hmm.
It will die. This game was bad enough to get a 4 from IGN.
Yeah, and it really deserves it.
Yeah.
I
The thing that
just
stuck out to me was that they talked about how the internal testing had so much better scores, and they were surprised. And that really reads to me the same thing that's happening in every industry, where you have managers who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Going off of metrics they invented so they could feel more involved.
yes,
Mhm.
100%. There was a pretty good article put out there by some sort of gaming analyst who talks about like what internal review systems are, how that works and stuff like that. And they were talking about if we are to take Phil Spencer at his word, which I appreciate the phrasing on this because that really is the way we should treat this moment.
Oh yeah.
That their internal reviewers said that this would be in the 70s, which its Metacritic is no longer even in the 60s, it is in the 50s.
As it should be.
Right.
Or lower, yeah.
That's correct. For it to be down there, they should be fired immediately. Their internal reviewers should not come up with, like, they should never work with them again.
Right.
Because there's no world in which that should have been the case.
They're alleged internal reviewers, yes.
Right. I just, at the end of the day, like, thank God I'm never going to be in an interview with Phil Spencer. Is at the point where he says something like that, my first thought is, Phil, are you asking the audience, are you asking people listening to this interview and Xbox gamers everywhere to believe you are stupid enough that you looked at that game and you genuinely thought people will play this, people will love this, this is what people want? Because you're the guy in charge. You get to make these decisions.
See, I would end the interview instantly because I'd be like, Phil, how many times did somebody at Arcane ask for more time? How desperately did they beg you for more time?
Right. And you feel bad for them because, of course, there's no world where this was the plan.
Right.
I really do want to find out more about the development of Redfall. Was this just like way too ambitious a project for them and they spent 5 years making what we got? That seems impossible. Like, because it's not that big. It is not so massive.
And it's completely empty. It's hollow.
Right.
Yeah, it's hollow. Lots of buildings you just can't go in. Like, I would understand it if it's like, okay, we made this small but unbelievably dense map.
Right.
But it's not even that.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely insane. I've been hearing from people, well, there's no point you could push the game back to where it'd be better. And I'm like, the AI doesn't work. A video game is you engaging with the mechanics. If the mechanics are you in a shootout with an enemy and they don't react, then you're not playing a game anymore. So yeah, there's a point you could push the game back to where it would work. Like, there's no world where this was going to be in my game of the year list, most likely. Maybe if they knocked it out of the park completely. Like, it ran at 60, had good online co-op, it delivered on the vampire stuff, it had a proper budget for the storytelling. Maybe. But for fuck's sake, there are people who would have loved this game a lot if it was done, and it's not.
Yeah, if this was done, it could be a really lovable 7. Like that's what it felt like from what they have.
Right.
Like if it was done in the scope that they currently have, not what you would imagine from those trailers and things they put out earlier, where it could be an incredible game.
Yeah, I don't. It's upset. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it enough.
Yeah, moving on. Hollow Knight Silksong. It's delayed. Okay?
I blame Phil.
Fair.
I love all the I blame Phil moments I saw on Twitter and shit because it was in the Xbox showing where they're like, every game in the showing's coming out in the next 12 months. And ever since they did that, I'm like, it's not, is it?
They just put a noose on their neck for that with that, didn't they?
It was very funny to watch some Redfall reviews, and just one starts with the start at the beginning where it's like, what happened in Redfall was my fault. It fades in Phil over that part of the game.
That's pretty good.
But Silksong is no longer coming out the first half of 2023, which I checked the date. It is May 11th.
No shit.
Pretty obvious that isn't happening.
Wow, look at that. Crazy.
But look forward to more news. Sorry, everyone. You'll have to keep watching events hoping that Silksong shows up.
Is this... Well, this is news that hit, but this is not super news that hit. Apparently, this happened 4 days ago. Let me see if anyone covered this in their news. No, apparently Postal 4 is not coming to Xbox because Microsoft just said it didn't fit their library.
Yeah, we covered that before.
Okay, yeah. The tweets are from 4 days ago.
No, that was back in March.
Oh, that was March 7th? Okay.
Yeah.
Chat
gaslighting us.
I know, right? All because I can't tell the difference between R and Y from across the room on a tiny monitor.
Right.
Wah, wah.
And we got more delays, guys.
God, I'm so tired of good games getting delayed, Bob. Please don't delay another good game with your words right now.
Goodbye, Volcano High.
Okay, we're fine.
No longer making this June 15th date. It's going to be August 29th. I know.
That's
everyone in shambles.
That's a better spot for you anyways.
Probably, yeah.
If somebody comes for me in my sleep with a money gun and puts it to my head and says, play the fucking game, at least I'll have time.
Yeah,
June 15th.
Spider might not be out yet.
Well, yeah, it's September.
Yeah.
Not that we know.
We wouldn't know.
Maybe we're wrong. But yeah, no, August is a much better time for that. I feel like
they
maybe
even
don't come
cited
out
that a lot of
Street
things
Fighter
are all
6
coming out
and
right
Tears
then
of the
anyway.
Yeah, maybe just get the fuck out of the way and all that. What do you mean it's coming out along? Oh God, Armored Core August. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think the only month without some Gigaton release is July.
My top 10 is going to be so good this year.
And of course, we don't know if there's anything in October or November yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe Sony just doesn't have anything. They're just gonna be like, no, I'm sorry, there's no Spider-Man this year.
There's no Spider-Man.
Bob, can I cover your next news?
Yeah, sure.
On prior episodes of Big Think to Mention, we broke the cutting edge news to you. We told you the word as it came to us, the hot secrets of the industry, where Jeff Grubb told us all, there will be a state of play. Now, we are excited to elaborate further thanks to Jeff Grubb saying it will be somewhere in an entire week that contains the day May 27th. Correct?
It's somewhere in that week. I guess he said the week of the May 25th, but that's all the same week, so whatever.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Who cares?
So now you know. Now you know.
I hope it's true. I'd like there to be a state of play. I feel like they've been really hyper focused lately.
Yeah, that's absolutely happening this time.
Hopefully, it's like a full on not state of play, but the next year thing there when they do a what they call it when they did the PS5 reveal.
It's PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah, PlayStation Showcase, because that's what we need. There's literally nothing coming up other than Spider-Man we know about and Wolverine, but that's
like a year, maybe more out.
Right.
Almost definitely more, but people are leading me to believe only a year, and I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Microsoft's bleeding to death from self-inflicted injuries, and you're going to release Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine the next year? Like, you're fucking insane. You have to pull even one punch, dude.
No.
Anyway,
Street Fighter 6 open beta is going to be May 19th to the 21st. It's on PS5 series or Xbox Series and PC. It'll be all the same stuff from the last closed beta.
Cool.
But now everybody can play it, so they can test those servers.
I was hanging out in Dr. O's chat, and I'm like, yeah, I just haven't played any of the open betas or anything because, I'm playing the game at launch. And he's like, well, why would that affect that? We're just like, because I don't have time, man. Because I know my time's fucked then. I can at least save now by not caring and playing it then.
Yeah.
Because by then, I'll have everything sorted out.
Of course.
I'll have so much time. I mean, goodbye, Volcano High just got right out of the way. Anyways, that's May 19th to the 21st.
Yep. I'm excited. That game's a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll even play it again this time, but it's cool that it's up there for everyone. They get to test these servers one more time. Make sure launch goes smoothly.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be great.
It'd be nice if shit worked.
Feels like it never does.
I think it's getting better overall.
Yeah. All right, this is a weird one.
Sure is. This is huge. Okay.
Akatsuki Games and Koei Tecmo. Akatsuki.
Yeah.
They're teaming up to co-develop a new title. It's going to launch the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024, and is tentatively titled New Title X.
Sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X.
It will be next-gen games that leverages the strengths of both companies. Akatsuki's Games seems to only make mobile games.
Like Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle?
Yes.
In Romantic Saga Re-Universe?
Isn't that the Saga game Vox plays all the time?
I think, but I'm not sure.
That's the safest sentence anyone has ever said.
And they made two separate baseball-themed mobile games, Tribe 9 and August Cinderella 9.
Bob's notes for the news are having a stroke. There's no way a baseball game's called
Tribe
August Cinderella 9.
Tribe 9 was a thing by the Danganronpa guy.
Oh.
And the artist.
Yeah, it's like a mix of anime and game and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know what form the gameplay takes.
It looked like it was turn-based battles when I was looking at footage.
Okay, that's most mobile games, so that makes sense.
But baseball.
Maybe it's a turn-based RPG.
Maybe. I honestly think it's so strange that they are working with the mobile developer for this. I don't know. It's weird.
We're in this weird place where mobile developers feel like they have the most experience in that genre in the industry at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I guess. In a weird way. Yeah, we'll see what this does. It's curious. It's launching sooner than I would expect. My next thing, Marvelous is doing a game showcase in late May. Somehow, here at May 11th, they don't have a date for this. They just said late May. The Marvelous is a small game publisher. I don't feel like they need to strategically place around other stuff, but maybe they are just trying to dodge to placing it the same day as Sony.
I'm trying to remember. Did Marvelous did they publish No More Heroes 3?
I think so.
I can't remember. No More Heroes is a little weird.
Yeah, because they keep changing, but I think Marvelous did at least cover maybe the collection 1, 2 or something.
Did I talk about last week how they changed what the PC version of No More Heroes was?
No.
Okay.
All right.
People were unhappy that the PC version wasn't good enough, and then people were like, edit the files and you can see further. Well, they spun it out, and I guess they're using the Xbox version of No More Heroes 3 on PC now, which is developed by a completely different company, and some people are upset.
Okay. Interesting.
I haven't done any investigation myself to see how bad the situation is, or if it's good. But people are mad.
That's all we know for sure.
So there we go. People are saying, yes, they did. They own the IP, somebody thinks. And also, apparently, they did Daemon X Machina.
Yeah, and I think that they do Senran Kagura and that sort of stuff, too.
We're coming up on when another Daemon X should come out. Because it's been
weirdly
a solid
enough,
number of years.
It's been a while. I do wonder if they'll keep going with
They're
that
like,
or do something else.
We're gonna release a mech game next year, so that way Armored Core can red pill you fucks.
Yeah, hopefully they don't do the idiotic thing of launching it next to Armor Core.
There's no fucking way, I'll cry.
Right, just exploding with the sun, basically.
And they're like, and it's Switch exclusive.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. You chose wrong, though.
Gun. Like Talbot in the thumbnail.
Yes.
Tiny gun hand.
Then I got some bad news.
Yeah.
Pixel Opus, the creators of Concrete Genie, is shutting down June 2nd.
For people who don't know, they've been working on a PS5 game for at least a few years now. And nothing came of it. And they're shut down now.
Yeah.
There was a bit there that there were rumors that they were making a new Sly game. Yeah. Which Sucker Punch was like, no, they're not. Stop harassing them. It's Sony needs more diversity in their portfolio.
Yeah, I haven't played Concrete Genie, so I can't speak to the quality of it. But this is always sad.
But yeah, they're not exactly limited by the capacity for that, right? It's not like their only trick is making Concrete Genie. So even if it wasn't great, you could believe that the next game... There is a Knack 2. And
there
you would
is.
not believe Knack 2 is the sequel to Knack 1.
Right.
So I always believe in the ability of a developer to get better. Unless they're a giant AAA developer and their engine has problems, and it has proved to have problems across numerous games, and they still won't fucking change engines. Definitely aren't a slew of Western AAA studios you could point a finger at with that one.
Right.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I remember when they announced Pixel Opus as a studio was becoming first party, and like this whole thing was happening, and I was like, that's great. We need some new blood at Sony. It feels like Sony's really lacking new blood. Like, sure, they bought Housemarque.
Mm-hmm.
They've got, fuck me, I can't remember their names, the studio making a live service game that has former Call of Duty people.
Right.
They have the Jade Raymond studio. But we still need something that isn't people who made big good thing before make thing for us. And also Housemarque doesn't feel new because they've been working with Sony for so long.
Yeah.
Even though they are now first party. It is unfortunate that Pixel Opus is shutting down. I hope everyone there is happier not being at that studio now. I hope they can move on to better things. Because you never know when a studio is secretly a fucking nightmare from the outside.
That's true. We just don't know.
Yeah, like no one would ever assume that with the Ori and the Will of the Wisp studio until
all
came
that stuff
out
came out.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. There's a connected online workplace. They're racist. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking.
I do wonder if this is as simple as like Sony primarily wants to fund these giant mega games, and we couldn't fucking make one.
I have to wonder if that's it. It is entirely possible that's it. It's possible that they had a good idea for a game, but then it would involve scaling up in a way that no one at the studio was interested in. You know, you lose a personality to a place when you have to scale up to 100 people, right? Like, just look at Giant Bomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
You scale up to an East Coast or a West Coast, and there are 20 people, 20 talents, whatever.
Right.
And you really lose the tone entirely. That's just how everything is. Like, for example, GigaBoots was really cool, and then they started doing podcasts. But yeah, who knows, man?
Apparently that thing that got canceled was with fucking in a collaboration with Sony Pictures.
Yeah, that's a rumor that was going around. So I don't know what that was going to be.
The fuck did...
I feel like attaching anything to Sony Pictures is like a noose.
We're gonna make an emoji movie game, and then what they don't tell you is, yeah, the reason the studio's closed out, the founder killed himself. He was forced at gunpoint to make a fucking emoji movie game. Yeah, that's unfortunate though.
Yeah.
As I said, I hope they moved on to something they're happier with. even if it isn't in the game industry. And I really hope Sony can figure out some way to help support and fund more small studios, not exclusively in China or India, just worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even sure where this was. For some reason, I want to say in Canada, but I'm not sure.
I don't think it's in Canada. I don't trust myself in the least with this, but I'm like, South America. But I don't trust myself in the least with this. But I just want to go South America. Anyway.
Well, wait, Pixel Opus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Oh, they're from like California.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, I actually had no idea. South America.
In my last piece of news, they released a new trailer for Wizardry Variants Daphne.
Once again, Bob's news segment has a stroke.
This looked really cool. They used the first person perspective to do some neat stuff I wouldn't expect in a like dungeon crawler first person game. Why is this only on mobile? That sucks.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I don't know why this is only on mobile.
Because it's like you have your party members and they're all people next to you. And you look around at them do attacks and stuff. And then you're first person doing attacks. It's like, this is a cool evolution of that. But only on mobile.
Maybe it'll come to console eventually. Maybe some smart console owner who's handsome and has great games will walk up to them and say, what if you put this on a system?
Maybe.
Man. Yeah. Oh, man. This is crazy looking. Okay. I need to stop watching this trailer. I'm going to get angrier. Holy shit. We now go to Kris with news.
Private Division, the publishers of The Outer Worlds, who fucked up that fucking next-gen version of it, are partnering with Game Freak to make an action-adventure game codenamed Project Bloom. There's like one piece of concept art and nothing else.
Cool. I like it when Game Freak makes games that aren't Pokemon.
It's always strange, and I'm very curious to see what they do.
Did you play that Timbo the Badass Elephant thing they made?
Yes.
We have played every Game Freak spin-off game.
I think Giga Wrecker was one of the cooler ones they've done.
Yeah, that was cooler than Timbo. The badass elephant.
Timbo was kind of lame.
Giga Wrecker was pretty fucking cool. I don't know.
What the fuck is any of this? You guys sound like Europeans.
They do sound like fake European games.
I think they really peaked with Scrunt.
The concept art implies a much higher scope game than those previous ones, though.
Yeah, because those other ones we're talking about are very small scale, like downloadable things.
I'm seeing chat being like even Harmonite, and in my brain it's read in the same cadence as how hungry.
Maybe I don't know. It'd be cool if Game Freak got more experience making these big console tier games.
Yeah, it would be really cool to just it'd be really cool to see them make a game on modern hardware.
Yeah.
They haven't done that in a bit.
Moving on. Like fucking Demon Turf. Moving on.
Moving on.
Under Night in Birth 2 was leaked by a Korean ratings board. We knew they were making it because they said it back in 2021.
But it was leaked.
But now we know for sure.
They ruined it.
It'll be soon, probably, because it was a ratings board.
Yeah, they might even show up at Evo or something to advertise it.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, Kris, jump to your last news first.
Okay, Proto Droid Delta launches May 25th. That is a game that Bob has discussed in demos before. That was initially pitched as sort of like a successor to Mega Man Legends and ended up somewhere around Mega Man X7.
Yeah, it does look very X7. It's weird. It's weird. Like, when Bob was first playing that demo, and I may have said this in that big thing, I was so confused that was supposed to be that game.
Right.
Because there's no world in which I would have ever connected that dot.
Yeah, where it's just all about platforming and shooting and doesn't do any of those well.
Yeah. I'm a fucking Mega Man fan, and I'll eat the slop just to know. But
After the Axel joke, no, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, then why'd you remind me of that? Now I'm thinking
like-
about pumping the brakes myself.
It's like literally.
What Axel joke?
Oh wait, no, don't do it to Kris too.
No,
let
I
me-
need to know how bad this is.
I don't remember it verbatim anymore because it was weeks ago. I just remember them making some joke about some people not liking Axel's design and them being cowards, or something to that effect.
Sale lost.
No, Bob, now it's just me eating slop, maybe. Damn you. Why is it always me? And now I'm gonna play Bomberman, or not Bomberman, Blaster Master 03, and be like, Kris, you played it too, right? He's like, no, and I'm never gonna. I'm like, oh.
I got tricked by Demon Turf, so I have to be more strenuous now.
Yeah, that's true. You paid money for Demon Turf. That sounded so mean.
Right.
That wasn't intended to sound mean. It was that Bob and I got the code.
Oh, right, we did.
We did, which biased our highly positive reviews.
Yeah, obviously.
I didn't sit there and get sad the other day as I went, man, 90% of Demon Turf is so cool, and then the content is not at all getting what's cool about it in the least.
Yeah, he keeps, like, the developer keeps releasing small extra versions of the game, but only does it on, like, Steam. I'm like, dude, bring it somewhere else. I don't want, I'm okay with paying you, but
It turns out he's not releasing it on PlayStation because we were mean.
I guess.
It's all our fault. If only.
Oh, wait, no, it's on Steam and Switch.
Yes.
I'm like, come on.
Did you have something for the last point, Dan?
No, I just didn't want to end on Proto Droid.
Oh, okay.
That was literally it.
Ed Boon's being a dick again, so Mortal Kombat 12 might be revealed soon. We know it's going to be revealed this year because they said it in an investor's call earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's doing that thing where he's a dick.
They showed a clock, and it showed that it was on 9, and then 10, and then 11, and then it skipped the 12 and went to 1. In my head, that says we're getting a remake of 1, and that's cool.
Yeah, or just to reboot the timeline again, because
I hope.
after the last one, because every time it seems like Ed Boon loves writing himself in that corner of like, yeah, we need to start again, because it's what I did.
He's like, I've seen how it goes after 3 games. I'm never making a game that's a 4 in a series again.
Can't blame him.
Dude, remaking 1 would be the most brilliant way to reboot the franchise. You
Yes.
just remake 1, then maybe 2, and then do whatever you want after that.
See,
That's
the
what
funny
they did
thing
last
is,
time.
That's
though.
what they did.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing. 9 is the remake of 1 and 2 and even 3 a little combined, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
But, like,
amazing.
Didn't it have some insane time travel plot?
It did,
has-
but at the very beginning, so that way they're like, oh God, we need to reset the timeline because I, Raiden, fuck everything up always.
Yeah, that. No, I'm saying don't acknowledge it at all. Just
Right.
remake 1 and act like, yeah, it's a remake of 1. It's a
I-
throwback, and then just keep going.
I
See,
feel
yeah,
like
there's
what they're
nothing.
gonna do is it's gonna be it's some I think what they might do is some bizarre reboot that follows off the DLC of 12.
The
Where
DLC does give you a different
not-
ending than the full game.
Yeah, it's the ending with spoilers for Mortal Kombat 11. That's the thing where like the original Kung Lao meets God,
Liu Kang.
God Liu Kang, yeah. Like Liu Kang is now Raiden. Is the
Right.
conceit. So going all the way to Mortal Kombat 1, but with Liu Kang Raiden could be really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we get, it's like I don't fuck up everything I touch. This is gonna be way different.
Where Raiden fucked up with time travel, I knew Raiden will succeed.
It is funny how was again spoilers for Mortal Kombat 11 where Raiden has the revelation of like, there's no timeline where I don't fuck up. Not a single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great if it is just like, yeah, no, and then Liu Kang's super confident, actually.
Yeah, he's
Like,
super confident.
And then he's training a Raiden that's like the Liu Kang of that universe.
That'd be great. Like Richard Epcar Liu Kang.
See, I was thinking Raiden would just get black pilled or red pilled or something, and we go extreme. And he's like, I saw a timeline where I was the god. and he just
That
snaps,
already
right?
happened.
But see, this is the new universe that it's doing it, but the Liu Kang is, yeah.
No, we don't need any more of that.
No,
Please.
that's funny as shit. That's funny as shit.
I also wonder if they could do that first Mortal Kombat that Kung Lao, the original Kung Lao, won, but that would involve like no returning characters.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
they're brave enough to do that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
They should do it.
I don't know. Whenever
'cause at
they're
the
like,
end of
let's
the
make a
day-
bunch of new characters, I feel like the Mortal Kombat team strikes out 50% of the time.
No. This time they'll be fine. Hear me out.
Okay.
They don't get to make any children. No combat kids because it's a time reset.
Right, but
So
you'll
we're
have
good.
their ancestors.
Right,
The other
Yeah,
way.
there'd be that.
Well, I mean, some of them.
I
right?
mean,
Like you would get a Sub-Zero.
yeah, you get Sub-Zero and Scorpion, obviously.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
Okay, so that Kung Lao I think was 500 years before MK1, because after him they won 10 times in a row, and it only happens every 50 years, so it was around 500 years.
Let's pull out the timeline chart.
Yeah, let me pull out the timeline. I actually need to. I need to know which era of dipshit white guy Johnny Cage's ancestor would be. Like what? Like would he? It's too far back for him to be a cowboy. I need to know where we would be coming in.
Like,
The
hello, my name
Conquistador.
is Matthew Cage, and there's no reason for me to be trained in martial arts. How are you doing?
I'm very, very excited. I love modern gaming. I don't understand people with cynicism for modern gaming because Street Fighter 6 is looking great. Tekken 8's looking great. I'm excited for this Mortal Kombat Tears of the Kingdom. Looks great.
yeah, no, I'm
They could do anything, and I'm signed up for this Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat 11
yeah.
and the DLC ending is so fucking based and good and awesome.
That's where I'm like, you know, just pick Charlotte Monks, please.
Yeah, just you know, I'm really here for anything.
Right.
I really am. The only thing I was ever not here for, as it turns out, was Mortal Kombat X. That sucked. Sorry to everyone who
Yeah.
likes competitive, perfectly balanced fighting games with interesting. No, fuck you. That game sucked.
Yeah, at least if they bounce back real quick and seem
Oh,
to
yeah.
understand exactly what was wrong.
9 and 11 are incredible. They're like some of the best shit the series has ever had. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All for it. God. You know, we did that Mortal Kombat month sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it was unreal going from Mortal Kombat 9, you know, upscaled beautifully on this OLED,
Right.
and then playing 10 and seeing how it just literally looks worse. And we're like, what happened?
Since we're talking about Mortal Kombat, I do have to bring this little bit of news up.
Mhm.
There's talks that Carl Urban is in talks to be Johnny Cage. Wrong.
Yeah,
Not
wrong.
proper
Mm-mm,
casting.
no.
That is not a good choice. First of all, Carl Urban is way too fucking old. Like they're not like the end of that movie didn't imply old man Johnny Cage. It implied
Right.
young in his prime Johnny Cage.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's true.
if you're already gonna get somebody kind of old, you might as well get the Miz.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Correct answer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's right.
yeah.
He's right
Okay.
to say. Yeah, absolutely. That way the Miz could be back. Why is that not a sound?
I don't know.
Why don't we have the Miz
Is
is back? I don't know. That should have been.
What was that movie? The Warrior or
I
something?
don't fucking. I'm not
That
gonna-
was the Marine 6 Close Quarters.
Thank you.
You know how
He's a
many
big Miz
fucking
fan.
times I've seen that commercial, Dan?
I think I did a good job of catching up during that one recording. Oh man, but yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm super fucking jazzed. I fucking love modern video games. I wish people were as excited about it as I am because I just played Pistol Whip on the PSVR 2. That was amazing. All these games run great except for Star Wars.
Yeah, after like Dead Island 2 and Redfall gave me depression a little bit, but you know, we're back. Tears of the Kingdom comes out in like an hour.
Dude, if you recall, I spent a decent bit of the Dead Island 2 stream just being like, dude, isn't it awesome that the PS5's so strong even this piece of crap runs great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
It's pretty fucking awesome, man. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Big Thing. Tomorrow, a crazed Mega Man fan paid us $400 to play Mega Man X4 instead of Majora's Mask, which was last week. He didn't realize he was gonna have to leave town, so he spite donated a Mega Man X4 stream to replace Majora's Mask, which he does not like that much, and then wasn't even there to watch it. So I guess some dude just paid us a lot of money to play Mega Man X4, and that sounds pretty fucking awesome. We may have a mystery Mega Man game we go into afterwards that we don't like to play.
Yeah.
However, after this, immediately we're playing Dokapon Kingdom. Good lord.
Brace yourselves.
It's literally just every turn. Okay, player 3, put your hand in the blender. I know what's going to happen. I don't want to.
Maybe it'll be different this time.
No,
We're gonna let me just scrape the sticker off this game. What do you mean its original title is Gom Jabbar?
Yeah. Oh man. And of course, in our free time, we're gonna be playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
I bought it for $50 using that voucher.
Me too. They even put that on the eShop homepage. Be like, hey,
What if you screwed retailers? And we're like, damn, Nintendo bold.
yeah.
We would laterally we would rather get less money from you as long as it was 100% profit.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's fucking savage. Hey, Dr. Aggro, what do you got going on in the next week after the
Tears of the
Gotcha
Kingdom is coming out, you dumb bitch.
Okay, hey, Chris, what do you have going on in the next week other than, the Gotcha Bar in a moment here?
Tears of the Kingdom, and I'll find something to stream since we got through the Uncharted's and we're still working towards that goal of becoming the Tomb Raider for the final time.
Until they release the next one.
Considering Amazon is involved, maybe never.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Western game development plus Amazon funding equals question mark? Well, that's cool. We're going to head straight into Dokapon Kingdom, so stick around unless you're listening to this as a podcast, in which case, goodbye!
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension, which is only possible thanks to your support over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get access to over 70 commentary tracks for various movies, some good, some bad, and some in the middle. And also, watch Isolation 119, an amazing film about a man who can find a stock footage clip for anything. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.